Starfield rumors continue to swirl as now it seems they're going to be skipping the Xbox showcase that we were hinted at, and now we have leaks about an Xbox showcase happening in January. I want to walk through a bunch of different theories about what exactly is going on. Like, is this game ever coming out? Are we ever going to get to see it? These are questions I think that many people have. So if you like this kind of content, make sure and hit subscribe and the bell button. Make sure and follow me on all the various platforms. That way you don't miss these live shows. I put all the good information right here at the beginning so you don't have to go looking for it. So if you're not familiar with Starfield, I don't know where you've been or what rock you've been sleeping under, but this is the big title for Xbox. This is probably their biggest title that they're hoping comes out in 2023. Now, with the nature of this game, there have been theories about release dates. There have been theories about when we're going to see more gameplay. And for me, I continue to think this game is landing late 2023, and we recently covered the fact that they've sort of reconfirmed the early first half 2023 release date on the Bethesda help page, so that's obviously a part of this. And then Windows Central Jez Corden just revealed there will be an Xbox showcase on Wednesday, January the 25th at 3 p.m. Eastern. Now, many people are sort of wondering, why on earth would you do a showcase in January? Where I think Microsoft's doing a showcase in January to showcase and say, hey, we have a big year planned. There's a lot going on. According to Eurogamer, citing a variety of sources familiar with Microsoft's plans, Corden says the showcase will focus on content from Xbox and Bethesda, offering intimate look at major first-party titles for 2023. So, who will be there? Well, apparently Starfield's not going to be there. It will reportedly include Arcane's delayed Redfall, Turn 10 Studios' latest Forza Motorsport, Mojang's action strategy spin-off of Minecraft Legends, and unspecified content from ZeniMax Online Studios. So that's all from Eurogamer. But Starfield's not listed. Now, according to Corden, he claims that Starfield may be skipping the January showcase to do a, quote, bigger marketing beat later on. Okay, so this is very confusing now because we just recently covered the Starfield release date confusion. Redfall's apparently internally delayed to May. And if you're going to skip the January showcase, it's basically the end of January. You're practically in February when they do this. If you skip that showcase, well, when are you going to do this showcase? Is anything happening this week? I mean, Aaron Greenberg tweeted on January the 9th. I'm doing this live show on January the 11th. He says, this should be a fun week. Excited for the days to progress. Well, what in the world? Is anything happening this week? GameSpot speculated it could just be the Oreo promotion, whatever is going on there. So let me just trot out some theories, okay? I really want to take this bigger marketing beat later on, and I want to tease this out. What could potentially be going on here, right? All right, first and foremost, I could see them actually using the summer for Starfield. I've theorized this before. I've said, listen, summer would be a great time to really dig in and say, here is Starfield. You have a big giant thing sort of mainly only about Starfield, and then have it land in November. So I've outlined this theory before, and with this bigger marketing beat happening for Starfield and them skipping the first showcase of the year, that could be something that happens. It seems likely, in my mind, to bump the biggest and most important game rather than move it up the calendar. There were people theorizing that. Well, Starfield just recently hit a big milestone. They're going to have it land earlier in the year. Well, if I'm in charge, I'm not going to bump the most important game up the calendar. I'm gonna bump it further down, right? This lines up with Matt Booty's comments about looking down the calendar. Even with the Redfall delay, I still think what he's saying lines up. It lines up with this marketing thing. It's like, well, okay, we're going to be doing a marketing beat further down the road. If they're planning a big Starfield marketing thing to land on its own, away from the January showcase, it would make more sense of what Matt Booty said. Like, hey, this thing's going to be further down the calendar, kind of going to be on its own field, I guess. It's not going to be sharing the stage with anybody else. Now, that's one theory. That's my first theory, is that this thing has been moved to the second half of 2023. I know the Bethesda help page is there. Listen, that could just be placeholder text. That placeholder text is everywhere. It's on Game Pass advertisements. And that first half of 2023, I don't find that to be all that convincing, okay? Now, the second theory is that Starfield gets its own showcase in, I guess, February or March. Because if Starfield's going to land in the first half of this year, right? Thank you for all the likes and all the clicks over here. You guys are the best. If it's going to land in the first half of the year before Redfall, then you got to do the showcase relatively quickly. I mean, you got this massive game. You've got a lot of things that people are curious about. People are curious about performance. People are curious about more gameplay. Giving it its own showcase, I think, makes perfectly good sense. But if it's not going to be like a summer showcase and a second half of the year launch, if Starfield release date is, in fact, the first half of 2023, then it'll do the showcase on its own somewhere in February or March. Now, this would line up with the first 2023 language that we've seen on the Bethesda help page. This could also set a really, really nice rhythm for Xbox. You do a showcase in January, then maybe do a showcase in February or March, and then you have launches in April and May, and then you have a big showcase in June, the Xbox Bethesda showcase, like sort of in the mix with Summer Game Fest. If they want Starfield to stand on its own, I think this timing feels weird. This theory feels kind of weird. If you want Starfield to be this massive hit, this big, huge win for Bethesda and Xbox, a summer game push, marketing push, I think makes more sense than to do it in like February or March. March is so full, it's jam-packed full with game releases, which makes me think if they're going to do this showcase for Starfield, they're going to want to do it in February, and then maybe have the game land in April or June. Now, June could be a possible release date. That would still be first half of 2023, and they could really leverage the summer, marketing pushes that are happening. Launching the game close to really other big game launches goes against the strategy of Starfield standing on its own. If it's going to have its own press, if it's going to have its own events, if it's going to stand on its own, I don't see why you would have this game launching right alongside a bunch of other big games or even doing the showcase right alongside other really big games. The lack of reveals, the lack of info, trailers, more gameplay, I think it all makes sense if they're planning this big showcase just for Starfield. If that's the case, then I still question a first quarter timing. If Starfield's coming in the first quarter of the year to get ahead of Redfall in May, again, we're going on the assumption that the leak about the internal Redfall delay is true, then that means Starfield's landing in the first quarter. That doesn't, again, line up with a Starfield needs to stand alone theory. The third theory is that Starfield is in a very bad state and they're just pushing it out of the frame. Now, I don't think this one really lines up with rumors that apparently they hit significant milestones recently. It also doesn't really line up with the language of doing a bigger marketing beat from Jez Corden. However, if Starfield was in trouble, this showcase leak would have been the time where we would probably have gotten an indication of that. That's when it would have leaked to the surface of like, nah, man, Starfield's not even going to be there. It's in a really bad state. Now, however, I will say it could be the case that the bigger marketing beat is just a cover to buy them more time. I do think this is a plausible theory. However, I don't think it's very likely. I don't think the game is in such a bad state that they're just going to absolutely skip showcases. They showed the game last year and had their big reveal. It'd be kind of weird for them to do that. Many will start to think, many will start to presume and sort of think that Starfield's so big it needs its own showcase, and I hope that that's true. I hope that Starfield is such a big game and is going to be so successful and so tectonic for the ecosystem of Microsoft that it needs its own showcase. Now, the last theory. Now, this is the one that I almost forgot because I just don't think this is going to happen. So I'm going to shoot it down, but I'm going to outline it. Okay, the ghost drop theory. What's ghost drop theory? Okay, well, they're planning to do a surprise ghost drop along with the showcase. That's one of the theories that people are cooking up. It's like, oh, they're going to do its own thing, and they're going to be like, and you can play it right now, today. I really don't think so. This would mean the game's not only ready, but they think it's worthy of a surprise release. Out of all the theories, I feel like this is the least likely theory. I just don't think they're going to do this. The game is, I think, perfect. I mean, look at this game. This game is perfect for drip feed marketing. People are hungry for Starfield news. They want to know what's going on. They want to know more. And if you're not going to leverage that, if you're not going to drip feed your marketing, that seems like a massive mistake. I can't see them doing this. Keeping Xbox and Starfield in the press and the limelight for much longer makes way more sense, and that's why I continue to think the most likely theory that I outlined is this thing's getting its own showcase in June, big summer event, and then it's launching in November. A surprise ghost drop seems antithetical to both the sales and the potential driving of Game Pass subscribers. I mean, Todd Howard's on record saying that there's like a pressure to sell Xboxes with this game. I don't think you do that with a surprise ghost drop. I just don't think you do. It could generate organic hype. I'm willing to be wrong about this, okay? It could generate organic hype that's stronger than trailers and reveals. Like, oh my gosh, it's available right now. I just really think that stands against most research and most planning. So, let me quickly summarize the 4 theories that I outlined about what is going on with Starfield's release date and Starfield skipping the Xbox showcase. According to Jez Coordinate Windows Central, there is an Xbox showcase on January the 25th, but Starfield will not be there. They're going to be doing a bigger marketing beat further down the calendar. We don't know when. I have 4 theories. My theory that I think I'm going to continue to trot out is they're going to kick this thing all the way to the summer, and then this game launches in November. They're going to do a big press in the summer for Starfield, and then it releases in November. That's the first theory. The second theory is it's going to get its own showcase in February or March, and then we're going to see like an April or maybe a June release, avoiding May because that's when Redfall's landing. So that's the second theory, is that we see Starfield showcase in April or March, and then we see, February, March, and then we see a release date in April or June to honor the first half of 2023 language. Don't think that one's likely because that theory really heavily leans on the first quarter of the year, which doesn't seem like a good use of a game of this size and scope and nature. This thing, I think you want out front and center for as long as possible. The third theory is that Starfield is in a horrible state and they don't want anybody thinking about it or looking at it. I think this is the least likely theory out of the bunch. Well, no, second to least likely. The fourth theory, I think, is the least likely. That they're going to do a ghost drop. They're going to be like, hey, here's a Starfield showcase, and you can play it right now. I just don't think so. I don't think that's happening. So it's between theories 1 and 2, okay? This showcase is either going to be happening in June, in the summer, and then we get the game in November, or, I'm not trying to create a false dichotomy, or the showcase is February or March, and we're going to see this thing in April or June. I want to know what you think. Leave comments if you're watching the VOD. Also, check out our sponsors. I wore a really great new Star Wars shirt today from 80s Tees. They sent me some new shirts. Go to 80stees.com. Use code Lono for 30% off. It supports me. Always good to support our sponsors. And do all of the things. A nice, strong start back, and my voice is not fully recovered yet. I don't know if you can hear it. It's a little scratchy. Sometimes that makes my voice sound lower. And thank you for 1,000 likes over here on the talk. Let's get 3 more people to hit that star and become a subscriber over here. And let's get started on our daily member goal of 25. And coffee orders can start rolling in as well. I colored that in because I got tired of seeing it and you couldn't frickin' read it on the screen. I was like, you can't read it. I was like, let's get some color on there so people can read what the dadgum bag says. So good morning and good afternoon and good evening. Train over here sending GGs. That's the second time you've done it. You're the best. East Coast Overlord with 15 months of membership, and it's a VIP. Morning Lono coming down with something, can't figure out what, here for the show. This is just allergies. I have felt totally fine. This is just 100% allergies. It'll sell Xboxes, says Gangs. I just sold my Series S to GameStop to get a PS5. Now I'm struggling to pick which game to play after Ragnarok because I have so many game choices. Well, I mean, I don't expect people, to sit on the sidelines for forever. Welcome back. Thank you, Train. Here come all of the membership renewals. Reaper hitting 7 months and a member plus. John always hitting 16 months and a member plus. Great reason to be in the Discord. I posted I'll post it again as an announcement maybe later today. I posted a blooper in the Discord last night. That's a great reason to be in the Discord, and you can only be in there and see everything as a member of this channel. Kale hitting 7 months, and it's a VIP. Welcome back. Good morning, chat. Thank you, Kale, very, very much. Night Fury sent me a tiny diny. Aw, tiny diny. That's adorable. Julio hitting 13 months, and Al Fariza says, we need a PlayStation 5. Does it for gameplay, but actually has more Gamescom now. I'm not sure what you're trying to type there, Al Fariza. Thank you so much for the membership. And then welcome back, Baba D, as a member plus. Appreciate that so much. Train sending some 2023s over here as well. Thank you very much. If you guys are just tuning in, we're discussing the latest Starfield news. Is that apparently Starfield is skipping the Xbox showcase at the end of the month, January 25th. We have it on good authority. We have it on good authority that January 25th we will be getting an Xbox game showcase, and Starfield won't be there, right? Tailor-made with an 8-month membership milestone and a 16-month milestone for Silent Warrior, and that's a VIP and a member plus. Thank you guys for being at the higher levels of membership. You are the best. I periodically do uploads for those higher levels of membership. All members get into the members-only streams, though, which we do those every single day, Monday through Friday. So make sure you're a member or make sure your membership is active. Some of you guys have fallen off the membership pool. Jump back in, click the join button, click the $ button. You don't want to miss out. You don't want to miss out on all the great stuff that we got going on. And Smiley, with 12 months, that's a whole year, it's a VIP. We need to be pressing this all week. Friday the 13th, this is going to land perfectly. Friday the 13th is the first night of the triple header horror weekend with me and Madam. You guys hit 2,500 members, and that was a reward we're going to be playing until dawn. So this Friday is Friday the 13th, and you don't want to miss that as a member. Get in the Discord, and we got some members getting back in. Thanks so much to Adnor. Just wait. 9 Milli Productions, Left Control Gaming, Tim Norman, and Picard 2005. Those are all names that I recognize. If we hit 25 members, I gift 5. So let's get that going. You guys are starting off strong. What do you think's happening with this? Eugene says, from a purely marketing standpoint, if it's not at the showcase, it's not releasing in the spring. I tend to agree with that logic, Eugene. J. Murph jumping back in with a 7-month milestone at a member plus. November seems more likely with Redfall in May and Diablo in June. I agree with that logic. I got some members to thank. Dan Zatasic with 16 months, and it's a VIP. I'm on Xbox All Access, just paid off the Xbox. Now I need to decide if I want Game Pass moving forward or not. Not with the full price. And now I have to download 2 games. Hey, 10 gifted members, taking us to 15. My man Zen has been cracking off the gifted members. Richard Rodriguez, Apex Predator, Nathan Bromley, WRB in Cincinnati, Morgan Freewin, Tremolo, and Coop Creates all got gifted members. And Astro Candy hit 16 months. And my man Lunk hit 5 months. I think we are seriously looking at several gaming shows early this year that make all the bad ones recently look good by comparison. We're going to get overlong chats with bad mics and info and commercials. Oh, we're going to get over? You mean it's going to be better than the stuff that we saw? My man Barrier jumping back in with 16 months, and it's a member plus. Can't wait to play Starfield on Xbox Game Pass day 1 with my Xbox wireless AA battery controller. My man Barrier. I think Starfield launches early April, says Detective Seeds. Falls in Microsoft's Q2, and then Redfall hits May, falling in Microsoft Q3. That fulfills Phil's promise of launching a AAA title every Microsoft quarter. I mean, oh, maybe. That's crazy talk, though. April? You think they're going to... I'm telling you right now, if they're treating Starfield that way, then I'm worried. I am. Morning, Lono. How you doing, Blazin' Bender? Lurker here. Been a PlayStation gamer, left Xbox since D1. If this game delivers, it'll be the reason I return to the Xbox ecosystem happily. We are down to one viewer over here. I don't know what's going on over here. I couldn't start the stream on the talk. It wasn't letting me, so I might have burned up goodwill over there. They thought, what's this guy doing? So I don't think I got spun up today. And Rainbow, hitting 14 months, says, hi all, hello. Thank you for being here, and thank you guys for watching and smashing over here. And let's set our sights on 200 likes over here on YouTube. Well over 400 people. Thanks so much for a strong turnout today. If you guys missed my upload, holy moly, that Starfield upload yesterday was just absolutely, and it still is, just cooking. Doing very, very well. 4360 on mobile. Oh, no, I'm sorry. I'm talking about the other platform. These showcases are going to be feeling like a PBS member drive. Everything that comes out this year will soon be forgotten when we see Venom. Now, I don't agree with that. I don't think Spider-Man is strong enough to knock all these other games off of our concern or care. I think these games could be very good. Detective says, why? They don't need to do a ton of marketing. You're doing it right now for them, and everyone knows about Starfield. I think we are looking at this from a typical marketing approach. Well, of course we are. They followed a typical marketing approach for a while now. Where has Microsoft departed from the traditional marketing approach? Where have they done that? Like with their showcases and their trailers and their Game Pass? I don't agree with that. I don't see some renegade rogue marketing strategy from Microsoft. I don't. Why is Nightbot not working? Is Nightbot on vacation? I need to delete that one timer. Hang on 1 second. Wait, it's already been disabled? Oh, Creature must be able to get into the back end. There it is. I didn't know that Creature could go and mess with Nightbot. He went and disabled that timer. Oh, I guess you can because you're a manager of the channel. I was like, wow, I didn't know you could do that. Cool. Anyway, I know Todd Howard would love to do a ghost drop thing. Or like, hey, it's out next week, but I doubt Microsoft would ever let him. 16-month milestone from a man, Minch Tree. Welcome back in, and it's a VIP. You're the best. Xbox and Bethesda to present Developer Direct live stream on January the 25th. Yeah, why are they calling it Developer Direct? That sounds dumb. Like, you know what I mean? That sounds dumb. Is confirmed no Starfield? What's confirmed no Starfield? Where? Rocky Gaming says, anybody that doesn't own an Xbox will be missing out on great games this gen. Are you sure about that? What about people with a PC, Rocky? You know what I'm saying? What about people with a PC? The ecosystem of Microsoft is, it's in a lot of places. That's one of the advantages that Microsoft has. You know what I'm saying? They promised Starfield in the next 12 months. They can't afford to release Starfield in November. Do you really... I'm gonna ask you guys an honest question. Do you really think it friggin' matters? Do you think it matters? Do you think people, after all of the delays the last couple of years, you think they're going to hold them to that? But you said during the Xbox Bethesda showcase that everything shown was coming out in the next 12 months. They didn't give us a hard release date for Starfield. They didn't. They delayed it, and then they made some generic statement at that thing. Like, I just don't think, after everything that's happened, you think that's what's going to do it? People are going to be like, listen, I was with you guys up until that moment, right? I wanted the game by June, and you gave me a 5-month, delay. I got to wait till November. I'm done. I'm out. I don't want anything to do with you or this game anymore. Are you kidding me? Like, come on. I don't think that's a risk. I don't think so. I really, really don't. Imagine in June, hang on, Lone Wolf with a 3-month milestone. Did you consider the possibility that Jez could be wrong? He did say he wasn't 100% sure on Starfield not being there. Well, okay, that's a fair pushback. I suppose out of my 4 theories, one of my theories, a 5th theory, should have been that, hey, Starfield's going to be there and this guy got it wrong. Like, listen, I don't know how you get that wrong, right? Another delay would be the final straw for the PS5 players who had no intention to buy Starfield. I love your new picture, Zuby. I love your new picture. He's grinning. He's grinning slightly. You give good hugs. Anyway, that's not creepy, is it? 3 bags of dark roast to Eugene. Our first coffee order of the day. There we go. We got 15 members. We got 15 new members already, and already in order of coffee. There we go. Developer Direct is official. Starfield is getting its own show. Well, no, Talica, I agree. That's what we're saying. I think Jez Corden got this right? Like, I think this makes sense to me. You know, like, listen, I'll be honest with you. I think doing a showcase in January is ballsy. It is ballsy because January is sort of known for everything being down. Viewership is down, spending is down, advertisements is down. People don't want to think about spending money in January. They don't, because they just spent a bunch of it in December and they got the new year right in front of their face and they know taxes are around the corner. I don't mean to be a buzzkill this morning, but it's coming. Taxman's coming. So January is known as sort of the death fields. Viewership ain't down here. It ain't down here, baby. It ain't. We've been crushing it, man. We have been. Y'all have been crushing it with the members and the viewership and the turnout. If you're one of the new people that watched my Starfield reaction video yesterday, I hope you like live streams. I hope I see a bunch of you in my chat. I hope the dum-dum on the talk that told me I was brain dead because I thought this PlayStation UI was bad, he called me brain dead. It's like, man, oh man, talk about, I don't like saying Sony pony, but that kind of feels like one. Like, I'm just saying these are things I'd like to see PlayStation do. And the guy lost his mind. He insulted me, which is, that's par for the course for insecure people on the internet. But I mean, that happened. That happened this morning. Starfield's presence on Game Pass does not negate the need for typical marketing, says Eugene. The vast majority of the game space is on PC and doesn't have Game Pass. This is a great point that Eugene just made, and it actually coalesces nicely. Is that the right word? It combines nicely with some of the things that Microsoft said as Twitter, it's official. Did it happen? Did they officially announce it? The article says Starfield is getting its own show. Wait. When did that get announced? Did that just happen? Guys, it just happened. You guys have been trying to tell me in the Discord. Give me a second. I'll pull up the article. I'm going through puberty. I'll pull it up. Give me a second. I'll stop. I promise I won't do it. I won't do it again. That's the last one. I don't want to drive everybody away. Let me pull this dadgum article up. Xbox has officially announced it. Come on, Google Chrome history. Refresh so I can see the dadgum article. What is happening? I can't see it. It won't. Oh my gosh. I'm gonna punch. Great. I'm gonna punch something, man. I'm gonna punch my computer right in its soft parts. All right, here we go. I got it. Okay, that's really zoomed in. Give me a second to fix. There we go. Sorry, I had my grandpa zoom in filter on. You guys over on the talk can't see this. It's a great reason to watch on YouTube. This is the kind of coverage you can expect here on Reforge Gaming. Hot breaking news right now, right? This is breaking news, breaking video game news. Developer Direct, January the 25th. Tune in at 12 p.m. Pacific time. Jez Corden gets it right. Okay, here we go. Xbox and Bethesda to present Developer Direct live stream on January the 25th. Hang on, I'm a teensy bit in the way of the words. Is that better? Hang on. No, there we go. All right, here we go. Xbox and Bethesda will present a Developer Direct on Wednesday, January the 25th, providing fans with an inside look at some of the games coming to Xbox, PC, and Game Pass over the next few months. Should I read every paragraph in a different accent? Presented by the game creator. I'm just kidding. Presented by the game creators themselves from studios including Arcane Austin, Mojang Studios, Turn 10 Studios, and ZeniMax Online Studios. The developer _direct. Why is the underscore direct there? I'm stuck on that. Why are they putting an underscore there? Anyway, it's going to focus on big features, extended gameplay showcases, and the latest info for Xbox games launching in the next few months, including The Elder Scrolls Online. I figured that's why ZeniMax Online Studios was there. Forza Motorsport, Minecraft Legends, and Redfall. Ooh, Starfield's not there. To differentiate it from Nintendo Direct? Okay. I was thinking about this morning. I put a lot of thought into this. What if, hold on, everybody just hold on to your hats here. What if they called it the Xbox Direct? What? Anyway, to dedicate the proper amount of time for a deep dive into Bethesda's Game Studios, Starfield, a standalone show, is in the works. All right, now hang on a minute. Hang on a minute, chat. We got to reread that sentence very carefully. To dedicate the proper amount of time for a deep dive into Bethesda Game Studios Starfield, a standalone show is in the works. Right? The wait is over. You can tune in here, okay, on these places. We are obviously going to be covering this, okay? We will be covering this. January 25th. Yeah, it's in the works, guys. Starfield's right around the dadgum corner. Press X to doubt. Anyway, what can we look forward to, Bob? Well, I'll tell you. The Elder Scrolls Online studio director Matt Firer, the rural juror, will unveil 2023's major chapter update, including the latest regions of Tamriel to become playable in ESO, as well as a major new feature coming to the game's biggest update this year. The developer direct will be immediately followed by the full standalone ESO chapter reveal event hosted by ZeniMax Online Studios, which will provide all the in-depth details ESO players will be keen to know. Okay, so they're going to follow this showcase with an ESO chapter reveal event. Okay, now hang with me here. Hang with me, everybody. Think through this with me. Just think with me. Okay, if Starfield was right around the corner and landing in the first quarter of this dadgum year, don't you think they would follow this showcase with that showcase as opposed to ESO gets a showcase right after? Come on. I don't think Starfield's coming first half, chat. I think I'm going to be proved right on this. And all those people that got angry at me in the comments, they're going to come back and they're going to apologize with heartfelt compassion. No, they're not. They'll probably never come back. They'll be very angry. Butters with 13 months of membership. March is the last time they can show Starfield if they're releasing this summer, with fall within the 3 to 4 month marketing windows Bethesda usually. I agree with you. Anyway. Forza Motorsport, the team of Turn 10 Studios, has been hard at work bringing fans the next generation of Forza Motorsport built from the ground up to take advantage of Xbox Series X and S. Forza Motorsport is back, and we can't wait to share more gameplay and exciting new details. Awesome. Minecraft Legends. Mojang Studios will showcase an insider's look into the PvP multiplayer experience in Minecraft Legends, the upcoming action strategy game from the makers of Minecraft. I wasn't sure who was making it. That was helpful. This insightful info in the blog. Developed in partnership with Blackbird Interactive and launching this spring. Don't miss exclusive gameplay footage. I'll be honest with you. I actually am excited for Minecraft Legends. I actually think it looks kind of dope. I do. I think it looks kind of dope. Did I have a lot of sugar this morning? No. Nope. Oh, daddy feels good. I'm just kidding. I'm just happy to be back live, man. I hate not being live. The channel did well while I was gone, though. Thank you, everybody, for that. Redfall. The minds behind Dishonored and Prey, Arcane Austin, will showcase several minutes of gameplay from their upcoming FPS. Guys, everyone sit down. Everyone calm down. We're going to have to shut the show down if you don't calm down. There will be several minutes of gameplay, guys. Several minutes. I'm just kidding around, but I'm really, I don't know. Why wouldn't you have like a 20-minute day? What are you doing? That game's right around the corner, isn't it? Anyway. You know what it reminds me of? This is what it reminds me of. Do you remember when we were waiting for God of War Ragnarok? All's fair here. All's fair. And they're like, we got new gameplay for you guys to see. And it was like 45 seconds. Man, if you're not a violent person, the moments like that can turn you into one. Like, I was like, give me something or someone to punch in the face. Like, maybe a goose. But that's based on other things. Yo, what's good, Feed? I see you in the chat. Several is a lot. Lono, are you high? I actually am not. I do get energized when there's lots of people here and we're having fun and everything's going our way, right? And then when it's not like that, I just fake it and act like I'm having a good time. Member for 16 months, my man MJ Talks. That's a member plus. Happy new Reforge family. The game is going to be a wait and see, multiple reviews, and possibly be first half. Be half off before I even consider it. Okay. Eugene says, you really can't make this up. Yeah, you can't. Okay, the Developer Direct will reveal single and multiplayer gameplay, showing you more of how you and your friends will take down bloodthirsty vampires on the picturesque island of Redfall, Massachusetts. Fans can expect to learn more about combat customization, bosses, the open world, and more. Okay, I need you to explain something to me about Redfall, okay? This is what I need to know. Why can the co-op not be a shared progression system? Your voice sounds deeper. I'm getting over some allergies. Every time I go to Florida, I remember how much I hate it. I hate Florida. Oh my goodness. Hang on one second. No, I really do. If we didn't have relatives down there, I would never set foot there. It's hot, moldy. I always feel terrible after we leave. I'm like, golly, ugh. That's enough about Florida. This, to me, okay, if you're just tuning in, right, because it's single player first, why? Why would it be single player first, Mo? What? You know what I mean? I feel like this was thrown together due to Game Awards backlash. You feel like this showcase, if you're just tuning in, we have official confirmation from the Xbox website. The Developer Direct, the Xbox Showcase 2023 is happening January the 25th at 12 p.m. Pacific time. That's 3 p.m. Eastern, okay? And Starfield's not going to be there, all right? It isn't going to be there. What the huh? What do you mean? Like, why not? If it's right around the corner, where is it? Then you're telling me Redfall's also right around the corner. You're only going to show me several minutes of it? And Mo, do not sit here and tell me that it's primarily a single-player game when all the marketing has showcased multiple characters all playing cooperatively together. Listen, I hate this term, but that is copium. If you're going to sit here and try to tell me that Redfall was intended to be a single-player game, bull. Since the beginning of the showing of that game, they've talked about you're playing with other people. There's 4 characters to choose from. Every single gameplay debut of that game was showing off people playing together. You know what I mean? You hate Florida, you must be a Wookiee. Oh, a Wookiee. No, I'm not a Wookiee. I know I've got some hair on my face. I am not a Wookiee from Star Wars, okay? You can hate states without it being, like, politically motivated, you dolt. Just show me the systems and does it have a long-term plan? To dedicate the proper amount of time for a deep dive into Starfield, a standalone show is in the works. That's what I'm saying. What? Okay. That lines up with my theory this morning, right? That lines up with my theory this morning. My theory was, listen, they want to give Starfield like its own stage, right? It needs to be its own stage. It needs to be it's probably going to be like an hour long, right? Like an hour long, but because of that, I don't think you're getting Starfield first half of this year. I don't think so. It's in the press release. Starfield will have its own show. We're covering that. Yes, I just read the quotation. Where do you think you are? I read this blog. I read this. You may have just gotten here, Burke. I'll forgive you if you give me money. That's how this works. But okay. Hear what I'm saying. Hear what I'm saying. Somebody just says on the talk, I think Starfield will tank. I don't think so. I actually think they've got a winner on their hands. I genuinely do. I genuinely think that, like, Starfield is going... I think it's going to be a good game. I do, right? No money for that comment? Oh, you... Whatever. Frick you, Burke, with your Xbox Canada logo. Could you put two of the worst things in an avatar? Why don't you just put... traffic lights and flat tires in one. I'm kidding around. I couldn't think of anything. I've been hanging out with my kids for too long. I almost just said, why don't you put poop and pee in an avatar? And I was like, what am I, 7? Like, my brain froze, bro. I spent too much time with my kiddos lately. I need some adult time, all right? I need an adult. I need an adult. I've regressed. I have a child's brain. My son last night. Listen, I can't tell this story around my wife. She will probably murder me. So he sets his little light in his room with the Alexa, and he sets it to fire truck. And he was going through all the different letters, fire buck, fire luck, and he starts dropping the F fizzle, just dropping it. Fire, and I am shaking with laughter. So he keeps doing it. I'm like, you're trying to breathe. Like, you can't say that. You cannot say that. You can't say it. But it's hysterical. Anyway, so that'll come back to haunt me in the next 48 hours, I'm sure. If Papa was laughing at me saying fire, I'm like, oh, was he now? Oh. Anyway, what were we talking about? Oh, yeah, the F word. So, Starfield, he's a whole man now. Yeah, he leveled up. It's so hard because you can't show kids that it's funny, even though you're dying. Yeah, I'm horrible. I'm an awful parent. I'm sweating. I have to take this hoodie off. I told that story, and I already feel my wife's just I'm being hunted. It's like in Jurassic Park when that guy's like, we're being hunted. Like, I can feel it. She's gonna come down here, slip something into my lunch. Okay, anyway, so this is what I'm engaging with, right? Wood became a member and it didn't hit chat. I don't know what in the heck's going on. All right, so this is what's going on. All right, breaking news, more at 11. I'm pushing back on the people that are like, Starfield is most definitely coming. What the? Why is there a dog? Why is there a place a freaking disaster? Just shut the show down. I don't know why I have stuffed animals in the shot. What is with the TIE fighter? Okay. Focus, everybody. I'm pushing back on the people that are like, dude, Starfield is 100% coming first half of 2023. They confirmed it on the the Bethesda help page, okay? That's what I'm pushing back against. I see so many more signs that that's not happening. It, to me, is far more clear that that is not going to take place. I don't see it. Unless, of course, like they're ramping up. Excuse me. To dedicate the proper amount of time for a deep dive. Why is that not already planned? Why is that not already planned? Where's the delay message? Official blog from Xbox today announcing the developer direct for January the 25th. And this sentence right here, this right here to me, I am not trying to be a drama click farmist here, and an alarmist. That feels like a bombshell right there. What are you doing? Okay, so the date was in ink, all right? And according to Todd Howard, they like to market 5 months or so before the game comes out. And they started putting these question and answer things on their YouTube channel, okay? And a lot of us said, oh, most of this is probably pre-recorded, and, you know, if it's all been pre-recorded, they're just going to start trotting it out. Once they know the release date, they'll start trotting out that marketing material in relation to that new release date. And I thought that was perfectly legitimate pushback, because a bunch of people were like, oh my gosh, why aren't they saying anything? When is the Starfield release date? Why aren't they showing us stuff? And I kept saying, listen, they're not going to show you anything significant unless they're 5 months away from it releasing. So I accepted that pushback from people. They were like, well, the reason they're not saying anything is because they're only going to do that within 5 months of the release date. And when that happens, we're going to start seeing all of the stuff they had planned. Because if your game was releasing in November of 2022, didn't you have a bunch of marketing stuff already ready to go? You didn't? You announced the delay, and then you go to Summer Game Fest and you do the Xbox Bethesda showcase, and that was 5 months before the release of the game, and you apparently had nothing to show? Do you understand the logic that I'm applying here? We were all going forward based on the assumption that this game got delayed, but even though it got delayed, the marketing materials were probably already cooked up. Okay? So, if that's the case, then why do you have to look at this? To dedicate the proper amount of time for a deep dive into Bethesda Game Studios Starfield, a standalone show is in the works. What do you mean? You don't, don't you already have everything made? Do you understand what I'm saying? Do you understand the issue that I'm drawing here? Apparently, now somebody could push back and say, yeah, but Lono, hang on a second. They delayed the game and they really want to blow people away. So they're probably ramping up for something bigger than they were originally going to do, right? If you get delayed, you push your marketing beat. Bro, are you doing this on purpose? Mike, if you get delayed and you push your marketing beat, why would you tell us that you have to work up a show? Stop complaining. I haven't uttered a single word of complaint. Buy a dictionary, for frick's sake. You're on the internet. Go to dictionary.com and look up the definition of complaining. It means it's going to do like a Nintendo Direct or PlayStation Direct type show. I'm not in disagreement with you. Like, what I'm saying is, in direct refutation of the people that are like, this game is 100% coming in the first half of 2023. It's right around the corner. No, they're going to make good on their promise. Bethesda help page, Bethesda help page. And I'm like, what the huh? No, I don't see it. They haven't said anything. So let's just say they do it in February. Okay. Let's just say they do it in February. Do you think the game's launching in February? Launch in February? Really? Like, February? February was pretty big last year, so I guess February's not horrible. It's not a horrible month to launch in. I mean, Elden Ring and Horizon Forbidden West did pretty good. So that means they would do the showcase in the same month as the release date, right? Because seriously, there's no way they're doing it in January, because this showcase that they just announced today, this is on the 25th. There's no room on the dadgum calendar, right? There's no room on the dadgum calendar. So there's no way they're doing the Starfield showcase in January. I think that's a safe assumption, okay? I think that's a safe assumption. So if it lands in February, are they going to also release the game in February? Oh, no, they won't do that, Lono. You want to release in March? You don't drop your nuke before you empty your clip. Mike, I'm applying that logic. You just haven't seen it yet. I've been a little bit squirrel distracted this morning, so I haven't done the greatest job spelling it out. I'm applying the logic that you're applying. If Starfield is so big, so massive, so central that it needs its own showcase, you ain't launching in March with everybody else. You just, what the huh? No, they want to give it its own stadium. They want to give it its own stage, its own presence. So March is out of the question in my mind. I think February's out of the question. That doesn't make any sense. February, well, I actually think February's more likely. If you want my honest opinion, February's a little thin. They do the surprise, show. It's not a surprise showcase. They've announced it now that it's coming. And they're like, dude, coming out in 2 weeks. June, I've been consistent. I mean, listen, I outlined that in one of my theories. I said, listen, they could do the showcase in February or March and then announce a June release date. That gets you in the first half. And then they can use the June marketing machine to double down and be like, hey, Starfield just came out. Right? They could line it up and collate it so like it like lines up with Summer Game Fest and the Xbox Bethesda showcase. But Diablo 4 is in June. That's another major conundrum, I think, for them. I don't think anybody wants to launch in June. Yeah, and Final Fantasy 16. You got two monster releases in June. So, like, I can see, June could be pretty good, but then I look at Diablo and Final Fantasy and I'm like, nope. If you want Starfield to stand on its own, if you want Starfield to have this massive, deep dive, its own, as it says here, its own standalone show, you do it. You do the standalone show in June. Announce your Xbox Bethesda showcase at the end of it. Like, literally do the Starfield showcase all by itself, and then you announce, by the way, we'll see you at the Xbox Bethesda showcase, and you release Starfield in November. That's what I think. Yeah, June is E3. That's right. That's right. There have been games that have done that before. They do their really big announcement, and then they go to E3 and they do the press circuit about it. Hilly says Starfield 6/23/23. I don't know. I just don't know. That's right around the time all the conferences are going on. I just don't think so. With the releases coming this year, gaming budgets are stretched thin. For a game of this magnitude, one that's meant to be a system seller, you have to give people a minimum of 3 months of heads up, says Eugene. That's another piece of the puzzle. Todd Howard made it very, very clear that they feel a pressure to sell systems, to sell Xboxes. I think next February, and people will be disappointed. Oh, Final Frosty over here on the talk. You think it's going into next year? I don't know about that. My producer thinks that. That's what he thinks. As you've discussed many times, Xbox players don't buy games, so it doesn't matter if Xbox drop all 5 games the same day. They're on Game Pass forever. Frostbite, you know that's silly. They want Starfield and Redfall and all these games to be a great funnel for Game Pass. They do. They're not going to just launch them all in the same month. Well, who gives a frick? They're all on Game Pass, and the Xbox players don't buy games. I've also never said that Xbox players don't buy games. I've said they've fostered a culture of subscription service-minded players who are less likely to buy games because they don't have to. This announcement is disappointing to me, says Shelley. Elder Scrolls Online shouldn't even be here. That tells you all you need to hear about this makeshift event. If they don't all get dated, man. Oh, if they don't all get dates? I tell you what'll be really wild, what'll really blow my hair back more than it already is. I would, if they don't even have a Redfall release date, right? I said it politically. Lono on Game Pass. What? I said it politically. No, I did not. The game has been finished for almost a year. They were going to release it in November. They have probably spent at least the last 8 months tweaking and polishing. Who told you that? Who told you that? Where'd you get that information? Hey, another order of coffee. 5 bags of dark roast to Dusty the Mad. Who's going to be the next member? You guys, are you using my code over there on 80s Tees? Look at this great shirt. I wore this on purpose today. All you Starfield fans, this is very fancy. Use that shirt command. Use code Lono. Use code Lono over there at 80stees.com. You'll get 30% off. I think I figured out why our code usage has gone down. Their prices went up a smidge. A smidge. And like everything, you know, when prices go up, purchases go down. That's a great reason to use my code over there. They have amazing shirts, but like so many other things in the world, the prices went a little bit, they went a little up over there. I thought E3 was indefinitely canceled. No, it's this is their comeback year. Use your code to date Starfield then. That's right. Final Fantasy 16 is a huge title, and going to PC marketing alone takes most attention off Xbox and Starfield. Hey, Dusty the Mad, thank you again for that coffee order. We are 10 away from our daily member goal of 25, where I have to give 5 members, and we need 3 more people over on the talk to hit that star button and become a subscriber. Have you covered the Starfield playtesters saying they love the game? Could be a good sign. Yeah, I'm gonna be dead honest with you. Anything that comes from the guy that said what he said, I literally take it with a grain of sand, not even a grain of salt. Like, come on. Listen, I got Insider Gaming to delete a tweet, okay? Do you want to see something real funny? Let me show you how confident I am in what that guy said. Yeah. I've talked to playtesters, and this game is exceeding all their expectations. Anybody else frickin' saying that? No, just you? Cool. All right, here you go. You want to see? Here you go. Here's when you know. Here's when you know you went full. Okay, so Insider Gaming. Love you, Tommy Hendy, but this tweet got deleted, likely because like literally a minute after I did this, they deleted their tweet. Okay. I said, no hate, but this headline is from vague statements about alleged sources who have playtested Starfield. I would keep expectations in line with what Bethesda actually shows. Starfield has massive potential, but news cycles running dry leads to this sort of thing. And then they deleted the tweet like a minute later. Why? Because they're literally running with the headline. They left the article up, by the way. I love Tom. I love Tommy Hendy. I love his leaks. I love Insider Gaming. But I was like, y'all are running with a headline based off one dude who's super pro Xbox claiming that he heard playtesters saying that it was exceeding all of their expectations. What? How? You're frickin' playtesting. They edited the article to say it's claimed. Oh, did they change the headline? Did they legit change the headline? Hang on. InsiderGaming.com News. Where is it? Load more. They've been a busy bee. Starfield playtesters say the game exceeds all expectations. It's claimed. Yeah, you're right. They added this to the end. It's claimed. It originally was Starfield playtesters say the game exceeds all expectations. I was like, listen, man. Listen, I don't know that guy. I'm not going to slam that guy, okay? Jez has said the same. Why is Jez not quoted anywhere saying that? I didn't see Jez saying that he heard from playtesters. I didn't see any articles saying that. Detective Seeds. That playtesters. Why would playtesters say that? Aren't a lot of playtesters like literally just testing bugs? How could you possibly have a scope of what the game has in it if you're playtesting? Like, what are you doing? Jez has said he's heard good things. Well, of course. I'm not saying they haven't heard good things. I'm saying listen to that statement. They've also signed an NDA. Right. Like, this. Listen to the statement. It's silly. You can play the full game. He was the first with that statement. I know who originally said it, and I'm not trying to start some console war. That's what I heard Jez say. He's heard good things. Yeah, that's extremely vague. I've heard good things is not the same as it's exceeding all of their expectations. What the frick? What the, huh? I want you to picture a playtester saying that. Oh yeah, every expectation I had about this game, it's all been exceeded. Give me a frickin' break. No one talks like that, bro. No one talks like that. Yes, Colt Eastwood is being quoted at saying he heard from Starfield playtesters that have been blown away by the game and quote-unquote, it has exceeded all expectations. You don't trust the source? I don't trust the statement. If Todd Howard walked out onto the stage and said, our playtesters have stated that this game has exceeded all of their expectations, I'd go, doubt. People don't talk like that. They don't. No way. No, I don't care who says it. The statement in and of itself is awkward. It's an awkward thing to say as a playtester. Do you believe anything you hear, bro? I analyze statements very carefully. I do. I've been doing this for a very, very long time. And I'm telling you right now, when people say things like that, it's smoke, no fire. James Wolfgang with 8 months exceeds expectations of Bethesda game that doesn't have a butt ton of bugs and glitches at launch. Sounds like a marketing buzz line. That's what I'm saying, Hilly. That's what I'm saying. Think about all the leaks that we've had over the years, okay? Think about all the leaks we've had over the years from playtesters that have talked about things in the game. Engine struggles, gameplay issues, whatever, okay? When have you ever heard a playtester say, it's exceeded all of my expectations? And think about it. Playtesters, plural. So, multiple playtesters have said that? What? That people, who talks like that? So playtesters speak in marketing lingo now? They don't talk like that. That's my point. Have I said that I think the game is going to be bad? No, I'm not saying that at all. I'm saying I don't trust the statement because the statement is odd. It's just an odd way to talk about the game. Why so negative? What have I said that's negative? So because I don't believe some puff piece from some pro Xbox podcast, I'm being negative? You haven't watched my Starfield coverage if you think I'm just being negative. I've actually been more on the defense of this game traditionally. I'm not even talking about the game itself. We're talking about if this game is ready. We're talking about if this game's going to launch first half. They all speak marketing lingo. During the cult stream with Jez, he said he had also heard the same thing. I want to see what he exactly co-signed. Lono's very excited for a game that when I first started watching him, never would have touched. Yeah, that's true. I very much have changed my my palette of games that I like to play. Did the coffee commands not work for you, Motasbo? Okay, it did work. Guys, if you haven't smashed the like button yet, do me a favor and do that. We've been streaming for 1 hour. Let's hit another milestone of likes. Let's hit another milestone of members. If you're a member, get in the Discord. Friday the 13th. Friday the 13th is right around the corner. And I'll tell you something. If you're a member, you helped us unlock the triple header horror game weekend. And what better time to do it than on Friday the 13th? It's like a questionnaire question. How would you describe Starfield? Below, met, exceeded expectations. I mean, okay, listen. I'm willing to concede that maybe there was a questionnaire that people are saying, oh no, this exceeded expectations. That's not the same as saying it's exceeded all expectations. That's what I tripped on. I was like, wait, what? I was like, no, who talks like that? Exceeded all of your expectations? So the flying, the RPG systems, the combat, the shooting, the investment, the travel, the open world, the performance, the dialogue, everything? Like, huh? Nothing tripped on itself? Everything was amazing? Are you feeling okay? Like, I've never played a game that's done that in my life. My favorite games don't exceed all of my expectations. It's not negative to question an article based on vague claims that don't sound or are consistent with normal linguistics around feedback. Microsoft has form for puff pieces, not based on reality. No one has ever said Bethesda's shooting mechanics exceeded all expectations. Sounds like we are being pedantic? No. No. You guys are using words that I use because you think it's going to do something. Stop that. If you're going to use pedantic, use it when someone's being pedantic. No one's arguing the finer point of something just for the sake of arguing it. I had somebody bring up those statements about, oh, this guy heard that it's exceeded all expectations. And I'm sitting here telling you, I don't doubt it because of him. I doubt it because of the statement itself is bizarre. It's that, what on earth? In all of the leaks that we've covered, in all of the industry things that we've covered, when have you ever heard playtesters leak marketing speech? When? It's always more specific. They outline very specific things. Like, we've seen this with, we saw this with Halo Infinite when there were leaks about the engine and the challenges there. Unless it was a questionnaire, it is odd. Listen, you just need to be careful. When you go to a source like that, you're playing a game of telephone. Okay, so let's say there were playtesters that took a questionnaire and they checked the box saying, this exceeded my expectations. This is better than I was expecting, right? And it goes through the telephone game and it lands on this Xbox podcast. And the guy's like, yeah, man, these playtesters are saying it exceeded all expectations. And it's like, you need to look at that and see what you're hearing. And I am actually trying to encourage you, as my tweet did, read my tweet and try and tell me that I'm a negative Nancy and I'm being a hater. Look how measured this is. Look how thoughtful this handsome man up there is. I would keep expectations in line with what Bethesda actually shows. Starfield has massive potential, but news cycles running dry leads to this sort of thing. Listen, in the absence of information, this is the kind of headlines that get clicks. Why? Because we got nothing to say. There's nothing going on. So, news cycles tend to... Wait, did that animate? Oh, that's cool. Anyway, news cycles tend to do this, and YouTubers tend to do this. They tend to say, oh man, getting a little thin out there. What can we run with? You take the thinnest whisper in the wind and you turn it into something. You turn it into a headline. You know, I'm banned by Colt Eastwood. Pretty sure it's solely based on my profile picture. I severely doubt that. No, not the YouTubers. What would blow your mind then? I'm going to tell you something right now. And this is going to help you. This is going to help everybody. Stop looking to have your mind blown. Stop it. That's part of the problem. When you're looking for a game to blow your mind, you know what's probably going to happen? It's going to feel lukewarm. You know what I'm saying? I expected this to be kind of buggy. It's really buggy. Some Xbox guy. All expectations exceeded. Yo, what's good, Benjamin? Lono, games is life. How could you? I'm the whisper in the wind. I'll be here to the end. Can you feel the love that we share? What in the heck? First time on your channel. I love how you keep it real with all sides instead of kissing butt. Hey, Jose, I appreciate that. I really do. I hope people see that. Like, I get labeled as pro Sony, Xbox hater. I'm like, are you kidding me? What on earth? I want every game to come out and be stupendous and get high marks and get nominated for awards, because that's really good for me, right? It's really good for me. If Starfield comes out and is amazing, that's good for me. If it comes out and like a couple weeks go by and everyone's kind of like walked away from it or shrugged at it or is angry at it, I can't do much with that. I could do 1 or 2 shows with that, and then that's kind of the end of it. That's the end of it. That's the end of the news cycle, right? And here's the thing. People are like, they'll do a ghost drop or whatever, that'll shock the world. They don't need to do all this marketing. Listen, from where I sit as a YouTuber, I'm sitting here thinking, why would you not drip feed this? Why would you not just absolutely slowly wring that rag out, just constantly getting that hype machine going? Look at what happens when, as an example of what we were just talking about, look at what happens when some Xbox podcast is like, well, I heard Todd Howard clips his nails in the shower, right? And then how many headlines would you see about that, right? Todd Howard took inspiration for space aliens in Starfield when clipping his nails in the shower. And then that would be some stupid friggin' headline. Now, if you're marketing Starfield and you look at that, you don't say, well, let's just do a ghost drop. Let's just do a showcase and then drop the game. No. I think you milk it for all it's worth, man. Right? Nature abhors a vacuum. Right. You got to fill it with something. Say something, right? People saying Colt is a fanboy, which is true, in chat are the same people who take MBG and King Thrash words as gospel. I don't know any of the people that you're talking about. I just do a show and say what I think. I don't have a friggin' clue who any of those people are. I've heard their names, but I don't watch their content. That's not a slam. I don't have time. I don't have time. There's content and stuff that I wish I could watch. I wish I had time, I got a reaction video today. I reacted to one of Reforge Gaming's videos. I think you guys are going to like it. The issue with having a ghost release is the fact that not everyone would have the hardware to play the game, unlike the music industry, which has a multitude of ways to access it, so I doubt it would work. Who are those people? I have no idea. Creature says, I don't think he's anything but full of crap. Could care less about his fandom. He doesn't cover truth. Yeah, generally speaking, my measurement of the quality or trustworthiness of a content creator is give them a fact check. Go back and fact check the guy. Look at his claims. Look at what he said, and how often is this guy hitting it out of the park? One of the reasons there's a bunch of people here right now and in my Discord is because I'm extremely careful and methodical and do lots of research, and when I make predictions, it's based on that, not like, well, I love this platform, so I'm just going to say this thing. No, generally, the predictions that I have made end up coming true because it's based off of the things that I've seen, patterns in the industry, and extensive research. It's not based on which platform I like more. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know. Looking at Starfield, I started making the predictions not because I'm anti-Xbox, not because I'm anti-Microsoft or anti-Bethesda. To quite the contrary, I have a Series X, and I hope Starfield's amazing because that's good for me if it is. But when I looked at everything that was happening, and I looked at the dialogue and them not really saying anything, and then I looked at the year, I was like, I think Starfield's coming later in 2023. I do. There's just a lot of things that happen with it that tell me that. Now, if I end up being wrong about that, that's just me making a prediction. That's not the same as me coming to you and saying, I heard this, I was told this, oh yeah, I'm hearing from people, da-da-da-da-da-da-da, and then all that stuff doesn't end up coming true. Opinion and analysis are not synonymous. You can't fact-check opinion, but you can fact-check analysis. I think that's well stated, Zubair. That's exactly right. Eugene says, fact-check the information they use to make their opinions. That's right. And then check them when presented with confirmed truthful information that blows up their opinion. Yeah. I'm gonna hold you to this, Lono. I'm relatively new to you, so I'm gonna see what your track record is. I host a sports show, and I pride myself on reading the tea leaves right. I don't think you're reading Starfield. Listen, I don't have a perfect batting average, Mike. I don't. You're going to strike out sometimes and miss when you swing at the ball. You are. Sometimes you got to reach for it and you miss. And in this particular situation, I don't think I'm reaching. I think I'm real close to hitting that ball. I think I'm real close to it. If I end up being wrong, I've missed before. But again, my predictions are typically based off of analysis and research that I think is careful and not fandom based. I don't do it based off of fandom. Just today, we get this leak from Corden, and I look at it, and I look at the phrasing, and I'm like, I think this is solid. The way it's talked about, the way he's phrasing it, it sounds rock solid. And lo and behold, here we sit. They announced it today, right? Now, that doesn't mean that, like, I did anything spectacular. It's just that's what I have been doing. Lono's wrong about Diablo 4. It'll be ruined by microtransactions. Okay. How do you know that? How are they going to ruin it with microtransactions? Did you read the extensive blog about it? Did you watch my live show where I went through painstakingly through the multiple quotes on top of quotes on top of quotes where they're just like, you cannot buy power. You can't. Even if you buy your way through their battle pass, they won't give you the free XP boosts until you earn them. You can't even get the XP boost faster by spending money. That's how methodical they've been at barricading your ability to buy power in that game. So I think it stands to reason if they've been that methodical and careful that they're not going to ruin it with microtransactions. Different developer, different team, different audience, different purpose. So, what are you basing that off of? Other than suspicion in Diablo Immortal, which was a different team, different target audience, different structure entirely. I've also seen what Blizzard has actually done in the last 10 years. Are you counting 8 of those where they completely revamped the Diablo 3 endgame with Loot 2.0 and are one of the archetypes for ongoing live service games? I don't often agree with Lono, but I trust that his opinion is based on sound principles and gaming and about gaming in the gaming industry. Well, I appreciate that. Like, that's one of the reasons why sometimes my hackles get a little raised. My hackles get a little bit raised. I'm like, wait a minute. Like, why would somebody question my honesty about something, right? Like, or my integrity about something. Like, that stuff irritates the fire out of me because it's like, man, I'm really careful, right? There's no reason to think that I'm just going to sit here and blow smoke or trick you guys, right? I don't think so. This guy's trying to bait chat. Does Todd just confirm Starfield is releasing 3/23/23? I'm not seeing that in any of my feeds. I mean, did you want us to take the bait? That's a weak bait. I mean, we can search really fast. Really easy to search and verify. I'm not seeing that anywhere. Say it's first half. I know we want to be objective, but sometimes it's just chalk. I hardly ever agree with Lono, almost always trust him. Yeah, and I think that's the kind of show I've tried to foster is, man, come in here, step in the ring, and disagree with me. But y'all can trust me. Like, I'm not going to... I don't think I've once trotted out a show where I'm like, yeah, this is going to be really bad for Microsoft and good for Sony. Like, I've never done that. I'm not interested in that at all. I am not. In fact, I think it's one of the reasons that we don't cover that other game anymore, because I wouldn't toe the party line, and I was harsh, and I think I got myself marked. I do. I genuinely think that. I think I stayed outside of that. You know what I'm saying? I've got a 10 quid bet with Rand that Starfield will release after June, says Jez. So you got Jez Corden. Jez Corden agrees with me. This is the guy that told us about this showcase. This is the guy that told us Starfield wasn't going to be at the showcase. And his gut instinct is on the same wavelength as mine. Nah, this thing's not coming out first half. It isn't. Not a team player, I think it was stated. Yeah. Yeah, when you get DMs on Twitter from community managers because they don't like your take on Twitter, yeah, you're doing something right. I remember you banned me on your old Purple channel for telling you to chill when you was raging at Fortnite. Hey, listen. Your name is Dart Sniffer. That's phenomenal. Listen to me. That was a dark time. I'm not being silly. I'm being genuine. I was in a bad spot back then, and I was always overreacting and banning people. It was terrible. And hopefully you can maybe watch the show, hang out on our YouTube channel, and see that that guy doesn't exist anymore. Yeah, this guy says here, no hosts or banter, just content. Starfield will get its own show Jan 25th. Yeah, Jez leaked that well in advance, you know. And here's the thing. I feel like most of the times I have read articles and Jez is quoted, I feel like he's careful. I don't feel like I'm not going to defend the guy, you know, exhaustively, but in my limited experience with, okay, I'm going to research this. Okay, here's this article, here's that article. Whenever he's quoted, I'm like, this guy feels like he's pretty careful with what he says and how he approaches the subjects. I don't feel like he just shoots off like, yeah, it's going to be amazing. It's going to blow your mind. I don't feel like he does that. I don't know. Maybe he has, but I've not seen it in my coverage. So to the people telling us to trust Jez and Colt when it comes to tester expectations, now trust Jez's bet. Jez makes dumb tweets, and he's careful because he's been wrong a bunch. Yo, Big O with a $2 tip through Super Chat. Welcome back. Hope you and the fam had a good time. I appreciate that. Because Jez almost 100% gets his news from Microsoft. Lono, how fast and hot will the world melt when they drop this game at 30 FPS? Listen to me, chat. If this game drops at 30 FPS, I will absolutely treat it like Negan treated people with the bat. I will absolutely destroy this game. I will get the freaking bat out. I'll put barbed wire on it, and I will absolutely wail on the game until it can't move. I'm like, what the frick are you doing? What are you doing? I will get the bat plus barbed wire. I'll put a modifier on it. I'm like, are you kidding me right now? This is how you usher in your big your next gen console. This is it. Woo! Oh my gosh, that would be awful. Look at what happened. Look at what happened when Gotham Knights let that out of the bag quietly in their Discord. Woo! It just absolutely. People like, wait, say what now? What you say? 30 FPS. I can't turn on 60. Really? Okay. All right. Yeah, this is remarkable. Let me try to get this more in the frame, and let's do that. There we go. I'm trying to the autofocus. Come on, autofocus. Quit being a butt. Be an absolute butthead today. It keeps grabbing that stupid thing. Exclusive to next-gen console and only one console at 30 FPS. You smoking some good... Now, people are saying it's going to run like that on the Series S. I ran a short today saying that. I was like, this game is a problem. This game is a problem for the Series S. White bags with black text. I preferred when the text blended into the bag. Shut up, Abe. I actually colored that in with a marker so you could see it. Gotham Knights, Lono, you definitely took that W. Listen, my favorite thing about all my Gotham Knights predictions, my favorite thing was all the people coming to my short to be like, this man's tried to warn y'all. This man tried to warn y'all. He's like, this game's going to be a heaping pile of trash. And it was. It really, really was. What GPU do you expect will run Starfield 4K 60 on Ultra? I have no idea. I don't have a clue. What did Breath of the Wild run at again? Breath of the Wild wasn't marketed as the centerpiece for next gen. It wasn't. What are you talking about? Are you like Mike? Listen to me, Mike, we got to do a Reforge update about this. I hit the wrong button on my Stream Deck. Whatever. Get it. I'm not going to do it now. Mike, listen to me. If you're already preemptively defending Starfield gameplay because of Breath of the Wild, that's not compelling. You're not making the case that you think you're making. You really aren't. People forget that the Reforge community were the catalyst of the Gotham Knights FPS news. Did you guys know that? Did you guys know that the reason Gotham Knights had to admit that there wasn't a 60 FPS mode was because of our community? Paul went into their Discord and was like, hey, so is there going to be a 60 FPS mode? They deleted his question and they timed him out because that's how you handle, just basic inquiry about your game. He literally just asked a question. He got timed out in their Discord. I had Gotham Knights fanboys being like, they didn't try to hide it. They let us know in this one video from a non-official source stating in passing that they played the game at 30 FPS. Shut up. They literally timed a man out for asking a question about 60 FPS. They did. They 100% did. We have the receipts. We have the receipts, man. In any case, all right, Mike says, Starfield isn't marketed as that. It's marketed as the next Bethesda game. Mike, listen to me, Mike. I'm going to grant your point because I want to show you how absolutely destructive what you're saying is. It's absolutely destructive. So let's just grant Mike's point, everyone. It's okay if Starfield runs at 30 FPS because Breath of the Wild played at 60 FPS. Let's just grant that point. Breath of the Wild release. When did it release? Oh, that's right. 6 years ago on a weaker system. 6 years ago, you using a 6-year-old game launching on a weaker system to defend bad performance in 2023, that's a heck of a take. That is an absolute mountain of a take. To be like, look, man, look, bro, it's okay if Starfield runs at 30 FPS on the Series X because 6 years ago, Breath of the Wild ran at 30 FPS on the Nintendo Switch. The Nintendo Switch. Seriously, you're ramped up and ready to go. That's how you're going to defend Starfield. You're ready to go. Are you freaking serious? The centerpiece, one of the new flagships of Microsoft's ecosystem, is going to run at the fidelity and performance of Breath of the Wild. It also ignores the fact that people complain about Zelda at 30 FPS. It's still popular despite that, but people definitely mind the 30 FPS. I certainly do. I've never once in my life done emulation, ever. And I tried to do it with that game because I wanted to get 60 FPS. I was also trying to do the co-op thing, but it was a pain in the rear. Xbox is a $500 machine. Do we really expect it to run graphics with such fidelity at 60 FPS? They're already, Eugene, they're already ready. You guys are already ready to defend it. Are you kidding me? What in the hell is going on? I'm sorry. What in the heck is going on? What is happening right now? What are you even talking about? I heard for months and years, Wheezy's like, wait, hold up. No shot. I've heard for months and years, OMG, consoles are $500 and so much better than PC. Now it's only $500. Yeah, let's go. Are you saying it'll run like that? Beasley, we're not sure. Listen, oh my gosh, we're talking about the potential. We're not saying it will. We're talking about the potential. If Starfield runs at 30 FPS everywhere, oh my gosh. If you come into my chat and you try to defend that and say, oh, you couldn't possibly expect these systems to hit that level of fidelity, I'm going to back a truck up and say, all right, dump it on them. I'm just going to pull the lever and drop all of the 60 FPS games on the PlayStation 5 and be like, you just absolutely slammed your platform of choice. There's no frickin' way. That's not a defense at all. It's not. Even Mo is saying the 30 is horrible. Mo is super pro Xbox, and even he's like, no. This thing's got to run at 60, bro. Are you kidding me? Okay, here comes Myrtle Turtle. Give me 1 second. To Mike's counterpoint, didn't Microsoft promote their console to run 60 FPS up to 4K, or am I missing something? Right, that's the other thing. These consoles were marketed as higher resolution, higher frame rate, instantaneous load time. And so you're good with 30 FPS? Like, this is why I've been so hard on the Series S. That's why I've been so hard on the Series S. It's not a next-gen console. At one level, the Series S is weaker than the Xbox One X, an old-gen system. Come on. They're marketed for 8K. Oh, don't start that nonsense about the PS5. You know that's not a good point. That has nothing to do with what we're talking about. What are you gonna butt her emails me? Get the frick out of here. So we talk about if Starfield performs bad, is that what you're gonna do? You're gonna walk out a PlayStation 5 box? Be like, but the PlayStation 5 box has 8K on it. That has running at 30 FPS. Okay, we reconnected really fast. Man, the ingest servers are wild. That's gonna be a blip. There'll be a follow-up blip. If the audio's desynced, refresh. Holy frick, we reconnected really quickly. That was wild. Did you guys get a blip in Discord or just on YouTube? He was just talking about console marketing. Listen. If you want to trot out the 8K on the box of the PlayStation 5, that's fine. Make sure you bring clown makeup. That's all I'm going to say. That's like the weakest dadgum point in the history of weak points. It is just, that's not a point. What's good, Don Colwell? How are you? You can watch me on YouTube. There's no reason to miss me. You can watch me here if you'd like, or watch me over on YouTube at Reforge Gaming. I think PC gamers playing consoles ruins their vision. What? Wait, what? What does that even mean? The 8K, I'm supposed to, I'm subbed to you on YouTube. I'm Donovan Colwell. Well, hey, man, I'm glad. Thanks for supporting in both places. I appreciate it very, very much. Blipped again? Well, yeah, that's the follow-up blip. There's always a second one. There's always, there's like a, whenever we have that disconnect blip, I disconnected from the ingest servers and reconnected. There's always like a follow-up blip. So size matters, right? Super large game, 30 FPS. Smaller game, 60 FPS. Which do you prefer? Excuse me. Let me explain something to you. There's this commercial, and it spawned a really funny animated GIF where this sweet little girl says, "Why not both?" Why not both? What are you talking about? Man, I'm telling you what. You guys are ready. Y'all are ready. Series S is simply next gen. Maybe they meant simpler next gen, up to 120 frames per second. Y'all are ready. You're already ready to defend this. Can't have both? Really? That's so interesting. You can't have both. Huh. I'm trying to think of all of the games that have done both, and you're not going to like the list. You're not going to like the list. You aren't. You're already bashing it? No, I'm not. I'm not bashing it at all. I'm saying, look at what happened. There's my man Donovan, 4 months. You didn't even recognize me on the talk. It's the lack of an avatar. Your avatar over here is different. If it would have been the surfboard, I would have recognized you. I'd have recognized you. Plus, it's not a username. It's like a real name, and that gets kind of like harder to remember. Yeah, Horizon Forbidden West has both. What are you telling me right now? Listen to me. I am not preemptively bashing Starfield. That's not what I'm doing. Look, I poked the fire, and look at the sparks that came out. Oh man, if Starfield's at 30 FPS, I'm going to be really upset. I'm going to get out the bat. And look at the already, you guys already have defenses ready to go. Well, what about Breath of the Wild? A 6-year-old Nintendo Switch game? That's how you're going to defend Starfield? What the huh? Oh, you can't have both. You can't have an open world game and a big open world game in 60 FPS. Since when? What are you even talking about? What do you mean? How many games have been trotted out on the PlayStation that are doing just that? New Zelda won't be more than 30 FPS. Switch hardware is brutal. Yes, imagine comparing Starfield to the Nintendo Switch and thinking you're making a profound point. The exclusivity costs 30 FPS standard prices. That's good. That's a good comment. That's one of my favorite comments today. I like that one. I would pin it if it wasn't annoying to have a pinned comment at the top of the chat. That's a good one. Concern, is this an Xbox channel? No. I cover everything. You're watching me on the talk under Reforge TV. I'm streaming on YouTube. Reforge Gaming. We cover Starfield. We cover PlayStation games. We cover everything. I'm not pro or anti any platform. I'm pro video games because I love them. And they're literally how, at one level, they're how I make a living. The Switch is a joke by this point. It's barely in the conversation. The Switch is literally laughing in market dominance. What am I, a joke to you? Like, the Switch is like, oh, I'm a joke. Really? Really? Is there any console in circulation right now that rivals me? No? Then shut the frick up. Like, that's the Switch talking to you. The Switch is basically telling you to sit down and be quiet. Like, it's the giant in the room. It's so... Their market dominance, their market saturation is bonkers. They're literally laughing at you. Yeah, on top of a pile of money. They're like, we're a joke. Really? Oh my gosh. I'm not buying a game that doesn't have a 60 FPS option. It's not happening. I tend to agree with that. Laughing at 30 FPS. But you have to understand what the Nintendo Switch is. You have to understand what the Nintendo Switch is. It's market dominance because it's answering a problem these other consoles don't answer. It's gaming on the go at a higher level than you get on a mobile device. So the 30 FPS doesn't even register to that market. They're like, who the frick cares about that? They're not playing Call of Duty and God of War and Starfield. They're not playing those kinds of games. That market is like, who the heck cares about 30 FPS? So if you look at Starfield and if you look at the Xbox Series X, I think it's totally fair to be like, look, man, if this thing hits 30 FPS, what the heck? What in the heck? Why? It's not that kind of game. Seriously. Look. I'm supposed to believe this game should run at 30 FPS? I can't remember the last time I've seen someone use a Switch in mobile form. Go to Japan. Spend 5 minutes in Japan. Look at this game. You want to play this at 30 FPS? You know what I'm saying? Like, what on earth? That's all I'm saying. When I see a game that can do what a game like Skyrim does at 60 time release, I'll expect more. I don't see anyone doing that. Okay. All right, let me explain something to you, Mike. Engines have the ability to do wide open spaces with great graphical fidelity and 60 FPS. They can do both. Okay? All you have to do is look at Ratchet and Clank, Horizon Forbidden West, God of War Ragnarok. These are games with very large open spaces, and they hit 60 FPS. They have a 60 FPS mode. Now, if your pushback is going to be, well, but 1,000 planets, oh, okay. That doesn't have any bearing on what the engine can do. It doesn't. Even if your Switch only had the Nintendo games, I would still buy it. Nintendo's... Lono, are you serious? They aren't doing what Skyrim is doing. What's Skyrim doing that's so special that's not taking place in Horizon Forbidden West? What is it doing? Where you can pick up every object. Okay. I mean, I think that's a fair point, that being able to pick up every object is a strain on the engine, which indirectly and maybe even directly affects performance and frames per second. But I don't understand, like, is that it? Where you can create your own stories. That has nothing to do with performance. The number of dialogue lines and the ability for you to have like millions of permutations of experiences doesn't have any bearing on the engine. That doesn't have any bearing on the engine or performance. That's not related. Red Dead Redemption 2 is 30 FPS cap. All right, wait, I'm not sure. Are you defending this game with Red Dead Redemption? It's literally an RPG. You're creating your own story. NPC interactions are stored in memory over time. That's not graphical. That's not impacting the game graphically, though. Those are data points. Those are data points. That's not affecting the ability to render. Red Dead Redemption is 60 on PS5, pretty sure. They scrapped the next-gen update for that game, so I don't know how it runs on PS5, actually. I can't confirm or deny what you're claiming. If you take all that stuff away, it wouldn't be a Bethesda game. Listen, Mike, you haven't substantiated why any of that means it can't run at 60 FPS. Can't be serious right now. Corey, I told you. I told you, and I told everybody else here, I said if Starfield comes out and it runs bad on the Series S, they're going to blame it on the devs. And if Starfield comes out and it runs at 30 FPS, folks are going to find a way to defend it. And they're already doing it. Recap. I love that you did that, because that means you're like, hey man, I like this guy. He'll give me a recap if I ask, like you've been here. And I will give you one. Maybe somebody gift some members for this recap, for this service, this PSA. So it's been confirmed that there will be a Xbox and Bethesda Developer Direct on January the 25th. This morning it was a rumor. About an hour into my show, they published this. Actually, no, they published it before I even went live. I just hadn't seen it. Derp. Anyway, went live and was going with it as rumor. It has been confirmed. Starfield will not be there. One of the things that has set us down a deep dive of when we think it's going to release is they are dedicating the proper amount of time for a deep dive into Bethesda Studios Starfield with a standalone show in the works. Now, my question is, if this game's date was set in ink in November, didn't they already have a bunch of marketing things recorded and ready to go before November 11th, which means why don't they have all those things ready to go now? Which I think adds more to my theory that this game will be getting a big press in June and then releasing in November. I don't think this thing is releasing first half. There it is, my man Bleep. He says, I'll give you 5 for that nice community service recap for my man Tarfari. Who got these? Where are they? There are Lewis, Vardeep, Sophomatic, Seraphim, Rudy Plays, and Duncan. Those people are here all the time. That's how you get a gifted member. If this hits 25, I have to gift 5 to the community as a way to pay it forward. If you've never done a membership on YouTube before, consider doing it without it being gifted to you. I know that's weird on YouTube. People are like, why would I spend money? I do multiple live shows a day, Monday through Friday, and one of the ways I'm able to do it is because we have a member base that supports the channel with paid memberships, because ad revenue ain't really there for live streams. So consider clicking the $ at the bottom of the chat. It's $5 for the whole month, and you get into all of the extra content, which this Friday, this weekend, Friday the 13th, we're going to start and kick off a triple header horror weekend with my wife, playing through Until Dawn, and we just got 10 more gifted members from Zybersword and Rob V. I love seeing so many people take ownership of this daily goal. The Slickness, Snowy, Snake Eyes, Inno, Johnny Two Shoes, Jeremy Hansen, Straight Shot, Greg Wright, Rob, and Jeff Warner. You guys all got gifted members. That actually pushes us to 30, which means we're now 20 away from me having to do this again. I do this every 25. 4 streams with Madam. Triple header horror weekend starts this Friday. What better Friday to start that than Friday the 13th? And here comes my promised 5. And let me see what Eugene is saying. Eugene says, Frames is about graphics, physics, and movements being rendered on the screen. It has nothing to do with the size of the game. That's exactly right. This idea that you can defend Starfield at 60 FPS by being like, but it's a big game though. That's immaterial. Holy cow, we hit a sub goal today. That's a milestone. That's immaterial to the discussion. It's immaterial. The game could be the biggest game ever created, and they can still give you 60 FPS when you land on a planet. They can still do it. Lady Natsu, Lifeform, Jeremy Scalise, Kyle, and the doctor's office. You guys all got a gifted membership from me. Pay to watch me? No, you don't have to pay to watch me. I do, most of the time, I do 2 live shows a day, Monday through Friday, totally free. There's a 3rd stream, like a lunch break, where I hang out with members. So, you don't have to pay to watch me. We do more free content, more live content than virtually all the live streamers on YouTube, and I'm also streaming on the Talk. So that's not how we run our operation. Yo, Zinthos with 16 months, and it's a VIP. Good to have you back in the mornings. Welcome back. It's due to memory allocation. You're just throwing terms out now. That has no... Listen to me. We don't know if Starfield's going to be 30 FPS. We're entertaining the possibility. Okay? We're entertaining the possibility. No, we don't stream on Purple. I would love to multi-stream and get all that up and running again, but that platform is so corrupt, so it'll probably never happen. Baker renewing with 20 months, and it's a member plus. Ubisoft Plus Cloud arrive on Xbox this month, it's claimed. Okay. Doomslayer says the systems, AI, physics, graphics, lighting are all a factor for performance, not how big it is, or else No Man's Sky would be 0 FPS. Thank you. I was just getting ready to go there, and I'm glad you went there for me, Doomslayer. I'm so glad you went there for me. Listen to me. Oh my gosh. You just came over from Talk. YouTube is just better. Thank you, Bolton Gaming. I appreciate that. Consider becoming a member over here. You can get into all the extra content. 7 months from Welfare Rockstar. Chat, tell them how good it is to be a member here. Tell them how fun the Madam streams are. Every Friday night, I'm hanging out with my wife playing games just with members. This weekend, we're going to do it Friday, Saturday, and Sunday to play through Until Dawn. The following weekend, we're going to do a Star Wars watch party, Episode 2. They're so fun. So chat can tell you how fun it is. Yo, what's good, Nefarious Clam? It is I, the Nefarious Clam. Most people don't know Skyrim map is actually a live bird's eye view of the actual game. You can spot a dragon in flight and at night see where the fire attacks when hunting. Pretty sick. 11 months from Dylan. Almost a whole year. Member for almost a year now and a viewer of Lono for much longer than that. Thanks for the amazing content. Thank you so much. Why are people able to have casual discussions and convos? No one's making big judgments and claims about Starfield. It's just an engaging and interesting topic. Hello there. What's good, big nerd? How are you? I am excellent. Thank you for watching over here. We appreciate that. We are discussing Starfield not being present at the Xbox Developer Direct on January the 25th, confirmed today by Xbox, and confirmed that Starfield will not be there. It's going to have its own standalone show that is in the works right now, which has set us off on so many different discussions and topics. One of those being, is it even going to land in the first half of the year? I have been saying that I don't think it will. I think this actually adds credence to my theory that it's going to land later in the year. I'm thinking November. And now we've been kind of discussing, well, what if the game only runs at 30 FPS? And I feel like that is a deal breaker. I've been following Starfield since E3 2018, and now it seems like super mid. It's going to be a blander Fallout in space. I actually don't agree with that. I don't. I actually think it's going to be quite good. I'm mostly concerned with performance. I don't have concerns about the quality of the game. I don't. I think the game's quality will actually be quite good. Thoughts on Jedi Survivor so far? I think Jedi Survivor looks great. I think Jedi Survivor looks like Star Wars and Ghost of Tsushima had a baby. I am very excited to play that game with the stances and the different swords and stuff and co-op. Oh my gosh. I loved Jedi Fallen Order. A $10 tip from East Coast Overlord. Memory allocation refers to CPU versus GPU RAM used by each since they're shared on console. Technically, you can run out of RAM, which would kill your FPS, but you can just not run it at 4K. Eugene says, also, you want to go the memory route? These systems adopted SSDs so that assets could more quickly be streamed in, so they didn't have to be held in memory as much, so any perceived hit on frames because of memory isn't there anymore, says Eugene. 76 was rushed to market, and it was a different team. I don't allow Fallout 76 to really enter the discussion all that much. I don't think it's that, I don't think it's that big of a deal, what happened with that one. Not SSDs, he's talking RAM. They've said they're going for a more realistic, grounded setting for this game. It's sci-fi, obviously, but it will also be attached to the real world than previous games. Yeah, they said it's hard sci-fi, but also kind of soft. Like, they're not going strict, super strict. Like, you can't, like, run out of gas and stuff. Like, they thought that would be, game-breaking. I read a random article saying Survivor was inappropriate because of language. It probably has swearing in it. I don't know what it's been rated by the ESRB. Maybe it isn't, sure. I don't know. There's no, you can't dismember humans. You can only dismember robot, droids and creatures. There's plenty of RAM. Developers will always ask for more. The Series S has plenty of RAM. It was rated T. Oh, okay. It's been rated T. It's supposedly going to be teen for that language. Okay, yeah. I'm not going to hold them. No dismemberment in the description. Okay. Not when you can pick up and interact with every object, the load on the FPS, then throw in the AI and whatnot. Listen, I'm gonna be real with you. I don't give a frick about any of that. I don't. If your game is gonna run at 30 FPS in 2023 and not give me the option to run it at 60, I don't care that I can pick up every Apple Core, piece of paper, trash can, or coffee cup. I don't care about any of that. You know what I'm saying? That's like telling me, hey, this brand new car that you bought, it cannot exceed 65 miles an hour, even if the highway, 70 or 80 mile an hour speed limit, doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. It can only hit 65. Why? Well, we put these fancy things on the hood. Do you see them? They're fancy. They're really shiny. Yeah, that's why. You know what I would say? I don't care about that. You're hampering the overall performance of the vehicle for that? No way. That doesn't do anything for me. Being able to pick everything up is, I'm going to say it. It's a gimmick. That's a gimmick. I don't need to pick everything up, dude. I don't. Well, then you're not a fan of Bethesda games. That's always been my point. Their love for that. That's a false dichotomy. You can't say if you don't like this one feature, then you're not a fan of Bethesda games. You're setting up a false dichotomy. You either love everything they do with their games or you're not a fan of their games. That's bull. I can like Skyrim and I can like Fallout 4 and have zero care that I can pick everything up. Like, I don't need to pick up 1,000 cheese wheels and roll them down a hill in Skyrim to like Skyrim. I can like Skyrim apart from that. That's such a false dichotomy. It's immersive and enhances interactivity and exploration. Yeah, picking up my 2,000th coffee cup is just so immersive. Throw that in a bag. What's that? Oh, that's a nickel. Throw that in a bag. What's that? Oh, it's a controller. Throw that in the bag. I don't agree with that. I think it's a freaking gimmick at this point. It is. You can pick up anything. So? Does it, like, I'm going to make an analogy. So whenever we've talked about open world games, I've said that there needs to be exploratory purpose. If you're going to let me pick everything up, then that needs to have purpose behind it. You're just doing it for the sake of doing it at this point. I don't think it's like a genuine, it doesn't feel like a genuine quality point. Richard Rodriguez with a $2 tip. Series S needs to be mandated to save this gen. What? Mandated? What are you talking about mandated? Give me a second. You picked up a Titanite shard. That's right. Oh, needs to not be mandated. Sorry, my wife walked in the room with food. I got distracted. Okay, Series S needs to not be mandated to save this gen. Okay, now I understand. Tip me again to clarify. That's my con. That's my strategy. I'm just gonna misread tips. Sorry, you gotta do a super chat again. I misread it. That's my fault. I'm currently playing God of War Ragnarok. What are your thoughts on that game? It was my game of the year. I was cool with Elden Ring winning because I thought Elden Ring was a phenomenal game, but my game of the year was God of War Ragnarok. I absolutely loved it. Shut it down, it's over. That's a great animated GIF. That sound. I'm hearing like a buzzing. Fully physical-based objects are a staple of Bethesda games. Might be small, but come on. Skyrim, bucket on head, Fusro Da, couple of people off of cliffs, cheese wheel madness, all of that's impossible without it. Listen. I'm not against that. I'm not. But what I'm saying is, if you're giving me that and it runs at 30 FPS, brother, you've lost me. I don't give a frick. I'll give you another example. Wait, I was going to give an analogy. Shoot, what was the analogy I was going to give? Oh, no, I already did the exploratory purpose analogy. I actually made that statement. It's not a gimmick. I think it is. I think it is. Because when I reach my 70th hour in the game, I don't think it's enhancing my experience. Food analogy? No. Here's what I'm going to say about that. Sacrificing frames per second for whatever. When they defended Gotham Knights and said that, well, you're going to get 30 FPS only because we did this untethered co-op feature, you know what I said? That's not a good enough excuse. Untethered co-op shouldn't be affecting the entire game, and I don't even need untethered co-op. I don't need that. So, when it comes to Starfield, if it only runs at 30 FPS and you're going to excuse that by saying, well, you can pick everything up, you know what I'm going to say? I don't care. I don't want to play games at that frames per second anymore. I don't. What does 60 frames actually give you? It doesn't give me a headache like 30 FPS does. It's, I don't know, up to par with industry standards for monitors and televisions. That's what 60 FPS gives me. It's way smoother. It's not jittery and stuttery looking. I don't know, man. The fact that people are already defending the possibility that Starfield only runs at 30 FPS, that's concerning to me. That's concerning to me. I don't think, I don't want to say this. I don't think you can give me enough gameplay features to warrant only performing at 30 FPS to make me accept it. I just don't. I don't think you can give me enough. Your gameplay is smoother. Your inputs are more accurate. Because you have problems with 30 FPS doesn't mean it's bad. Your standards are too high. What? My standards are too high. So in 2023, when Microsoft and Sony marketed these consoles with the ability to hit 120 FPS, my standards are too high by asking for half of that. Are you kidding me? Are you actually kidding me right now? So Microsoft and Sony promote their next-gen consoles with being able to hit 120 FPS, and I just want half of that at 60 FPS, but my standards are too high for asking for that. I should just accept 30 FPS. What? What are you even talking about? I want half of what they promised. Half. 60 FPS makes a huge difference and it increases a good experience. 30 FPS isn't acceptable on current gen anymore. Yeah, it's literally on the box. Sounds like an excuse because they can't keep it at 60 FPS. We don't know if that's going to happen, Clayton. We don't know. Do you think 60 FPS should be the standard? Yes, it should. I literally said this before this generation got up and running, right? And got spun up. I said that. I said, that's the standard, man. If you can't give me 60 FPS, then get the frick out. Look at the backlash. 60 FPS and 30 FPS were trending terms on Twitter when Gotham Knights quietly revealed there was no 60 FPS mode. They revealed it in their Discord quietly after timing people out for asking about it. Are you freaking kidding me? Gotham Knights didn't get away with it. You think Starfield can get away with it? You're kidding yourself. East Coast Overlord with a $5 tip. Cloud gaming in GeForce has now gotten good enough to where input lag feels like 30 FPS. The standards are not too high. No, because if not, God of War is crap. 30 is fine. I play 30 FPS all the time. No problem. Your PC gaming history has formed a bias on your side. So yes, nothing is wrong with 30 FPS. Oh my gosh. This is my favorite. Greenside, I love you, but you just defended the current gen hitting 30 FPS with the previous generation. You have to see the logical insanity of that. Well, then God of War was crap. No, it wasn't, because that was the standard on those consoles. When God of War 2018 came out, Spider-Man and all those other games, that was the industry standard. Like 30 FPS was the common standard on those consoles. And we were promised that on the next-gen consoles, we were going to get up to 120 FPS. And you're like, no, I'll take a fourth of that. Your standards are too high. What the F? What are you even saying? My standards aren't too high. Yours are in the toilet. That's the facts. Your standards are in the actual toilet if you think I'm going to defend the PS5 and the Series X hitting 30 FPS by pointing to games that came out 5 years ago on the previous generation of consoles. That's insanity. That's insanity. It has nothing to do with my PC experience. That's garbage. That's not true at all. Even Fortnite optimized itself to hit 60 FPS on the PS4 and the Xbox One. Why? Because it's important. That's why they didn't. They didn't do that for those old gen consoles because of PC gamers that have bias. Robert Jones with a $5 tip. Honestly, 60 FPS could have been the target last gen, but devs chose to target 30. No, it could not have been. No, those systems are too weak. Look at the hardware in the PS4 and the Xbox One. That's not true. Lono, you ain't new to this. You know they promise that every generation. We know some games do it. Super ambitious ones may miss it. Well, I'll tell you this, Mike. I'll tell you this. Sony promised it, and Microsoft promised it. And if Microsoft walks out one of their flagships and they don't hit it, that looks bad. Because Sony's hitting it every time one of their game comes out. Every single time one of Sony's games comes out, they're hitting it. Here's your performance mode. Oh, here's a 120 hertz 40 FPS mode. Like, they're giving all these modes. You're going to look like a freaking joke in the market if you walk out with your flagship title like, yeah, man, sorry. I mean, we do this every generation, right? We like overpromise, 120 FPS, and you're going to get 30. Eugene says, I only play console, and I haven't played sub 60 FPS in over 2 years. 2 years. It's not a PC bias. I had to grow up playing games at 30 and lower sometimes. I didn't have a pass of playing games at 60 FPS. I don't care about the frames. Does the game work? Okay, good. I cut my teeth in video games on the Coleco. That doesn't mean I'm going to accept Coleco-level graphical fidelity in 2023. I grew up watching VHS tapes of Star Wars and Disney movies. That doesn't mean I'm going to accept the quality of a VHS tape on my TV that belongs in a NASA stadium. Like, what? What are you even talking about? I didn't buy it. The community here bought me a TV that I'm not even worthy of it. Like, it's above my level of tech purchases. I don't buy stuff like that for myself. It's crazy. And I'm supposed to play 30 FPS games on it? Get the frick out of here. Are you going to go buy a Motorola Razr instead of an iPhone? Yeah, you can literally fold phones in half today. What? I think more gamers don't care about frame rate still. I would say it's still 70-30 when it comes to the masses on console. Listen, let me be clear about something. I'm not trying to convince you to care about 30 FPS versus 60 FPS. But don't tell me my standards are too high or my expectations are out of whack when they frickin' promised me 120. You think Bethesda is getting pressure to deliver 60 FPS from Xbox on the new flagship exclusive and the public backlash? Is this why they delayed it? It's possible. Lono, The in-game video game system S are getting larger. They just aren't staying the same. These are bad comparisons. Yeah. I tell you what. You go ahead, Mike. You go ahead and you defend Starfield at 30 FPS and say it's not possible, and I'm just going to laugh in all of the games on my PlayStation 5 that pull it off. And what's your comeback? But I can pick up this cup! I can pick up this pen! I don't give a frick about that! I don't care about that! That doesn't matter to me! You're prioritizing something that I don't. And there's just no way. There's no way that's going to convince people. Do you honestly think that's a compelling argument? You think that's a compelling argument? All these games are hitting 60 FPS on the PlayStation 5, and Starfield doesn't. And what's your comeback? Well, I can pick up a bunch of cups and pencils and pens and store them all. What the... what? That's not a very strong argument. FPS is a huge topic in gaming right now. Anyone who doesn't see that simply is just not dialed in. And it's much more leaning toward we should have more FPS, not defending 30 FPS as fine. Yeah, I think you're on the wrong side of the cultural movement right now. I think way more people are like, bro, give me 60. And I told y'all a couple of years ago when they did that with Fortnite, I said this is absolutely excellent because this will drive people's expectations up. So many people have played Fortnite that if they play a game not at 60 FPS, they're going to be like, what the frick is wrong with this game? Why is it running like this? That's going to happen. No, it's simple. I can understand why Hellblade 2 will look and run better than Starfield. It's wild you can't see the difference. It's wild that you think I'm that stupid. What's more wild than your take is that you think I lack the intelligence to see the difference from Hellblade 2 to Starfield. Like, you apparently think very low of me. Nah, this guy doesn't have 2 degrees and almost a decade of game coverage. He's just a moron. He doesn't understand the difference between these games. I'm refusing to accept that as an excuse. I'm refusing. Because I don't think it's a very compelling excuse. I see the differences. I do. I see the differences between what Starfield's going to attempt to do and what maybe a game like Hellblade 2 will attempt to do. I see the differences. I don't find it compelling enough to be like, bro, this game's totally okay to run at 30. You just compared to Sony games? Okay. And are you making a point or just laughing at something that I stated? Why wouldn't I compare it to Sony games? Both the PlayStation 5 and the Series X promised better frame rates, better load times, better everything. They promised up to 120 FPS, right? And so I'm over here saying, listen, if the PlayStation 5 can do it, then you better do it. You better figure out a way to do it. Even Doc Dark, the guy I reacted to, even he said the same thing. He's Super Pro Xbox. He's like, don't you dare drop this game at 30 FPS. He's Super Pro Xbox, and even he said that. He's like, are you kidding me? This guy says, effing nerds sewing out over 30 FPS. I cannot imagine being a grown adult male and using terms like soy and soying out. Like, I can't connect with you. I'd have an easier time going to the zoo and finding things in common with like a silverback gorilla than some absolute Neanderthalic dum-dum who thinks that saying things like soying out is like you're saying that. How low do you think of yourself to use such dumb vocabulary? Like, level up a little bit. Like, spend some skill points in the intelligence skill tree of your life and quit walking around saying things like soy. Like, the next thing you're going to tell me is that I'm a beta and you're an alpha and some other kind of stupid faux masculine vernacular from the internet that makes you feel tough. Okay. You guys are soying out about, Yo, 30 FPS. What the frick is wrong with you? There's no excuse for 30 FPS. But how about wait until you see something confirmed to pick up? No, Malcolm, you're misunderstanding. Nobody's gotten out any pitchforks. No, nobody's gotten out any pitchforks. We entertained the idea that it might hit 30. Do you want to know why? Because Todd Howard said they're willing to sacrifice frames per second. And it's blowing my mind that people are like, that's totally fine. I can pick up a bunch of cups. A $20 tip from The Truth. Thank you so much for the $20 tip. Someone's watching too much Jordan Peterson. I don't think he's ever said the word soy. Unless he's talking about the kind of milk he likes in his coffee or something. Paying $70 for a hypothetical 30 FPS game's disrespect to you, says Wheezy. Wheezy said something else up here I wanted to read. Where did it go? Where did it go? He had like a whole thing about it. I can't find it. It's about 30 FPS. It's the guy who still talks about pay to win. I'm here because of Starfield. So unrad. What's up, brother? How are you guys doing? Oh gosh, we've had a viewer spike over here. Are you talking about me? I talk about pay to win? I'm bewildered by people preemptively defending 30 FPS more than I am concerned that like Starfield's going to run at 30 FPS. Well, I mean, I guess I am concerned about both. The cups were just a simple thing. It wasn't really about the cups. It's about the immersion. I'm so glad that we've come full circle to that word. Because in 2023, when I pay $70 for a game and it runs at 30 FPS, that is murderous to immersion. It's murderous to immersion. I feel like I'm playing an old game. Like, why on earth? How? That's immersion breaking in this day and age. When I was promised 120 and you give me a fourth of that. What are you talking about? Immortal Turtle says, I find it funny that people would 100% defend something deemed inferior, 60 FPS or bust. We're at the point in gaming where 60 FPS has become the standard. I agree with that. I don't think Bethesda has the rep for 30 FPS games. I don't care if the game is God of War or Jesus Christ the video game. 30 FPS in 2023? No, absolutely not. Go F off. F right off, says Wheezy. Mike, it's not about the eye of the beholder. Just look at what happened with Gotham Knights, brother. Look at what happened with Gotham Knights, dude. They set the world on fire with a quiet reveal in their Discord that the game wouldn't have 60 FPS. What do you think is going to happen to Starfield? That's the power of Todd Howard Games. That's what I'm trying to get across. Nope. I'll take that action. I'll take that action. They will get torched for that if that happens. They'll get torched. What's good, Jay Stubbles? Thank you for 14 months of membership. Gotham Knights is already half off. For reference, says Wheezy, I don't think this game will be 30 FPS, but the amount of people more than willing to pay or say 30 FPS is fine, that's my problem. Are you going to defend a game coming out at 480p or only works on a CRT? Yeah, I don't think so. "30 FPS is all right in third-person games. The standards for FPS games should be higher." I don't agree with that either. I don't agree with that. Third-person games typically have a wider FOV and you can see more. I don't want 30 FPS in that. Join late talking about Starfield being 30 FPS only, not a chance. I really hope so. I really hope that there is no chance for that. I do. Make sure you guys are smashing the like button over here. Get us to 2,000. Make sure you guys are hitting the like button over here on YouTube. Thanks for all the support lately. Weezy says, none of you effers would play a game at 480p because it's beneath you. Don't try to tell me 30 FPS is somehow fine. Y'all saying immersion like characters you play as in Bethesda games actually pick up the items and they're not just floating. That's pretty good. Listen, I'm not trying to knock... I think Mike knows this. I'm not trying to knock his opinion that, like, I really need to be able to pick everything up. That's a major immersion point for him. That's totally fine. The rest of us stepped into this generation expecting more than that gimmick being the sole selling point of the game. Here's a fact that cannot be refuted. I cannot enjoy a 30 FPS game. I care a lot. There are probably others like me. I'm telling you right now, Starfield will get shredded. It'll get shredded if that comes out. Because when it came out about Gotham Knights was like, what, half the popularity of Starfield. And it was a massive issue. I find it way less disorienting to watch or play third-person games over FPS. Am I the only one? Low FPS has an effect on that? It's a twofold issue. It says, McKelvey. I thought it was going to be like Mikhail, but it's not. It's McKelvey. It's a twofold issue. TV manufacturers making 4K the next standard, and we're early into upscaling. Why does FPS matter? FPS is the single most impactful performance metric on immersion. Because if frames suffer and stutter, it affects your experience in the game. It affects the smoothness, the fluidity, the combat, animations, damage registration. It's far more important than resolution and lighting. Oh, that looks so good. That looks so good, Creature. Picking up every item is an immersion issue. We know you're not being able to play a game at the speed of the human eye breaks my immersion. Right. It's an optimization issue, not 30 FPS. I mean, it's not just an optimization issue. It's if you get accustomed to it. Okay, I'm going to give you an example from television. So my wife and I literally just last night, we finished watching Star Trek The Next Generation. And it was 7 seasons long, excellent show. It's aged very well. We're going to move on to the movies. And one of the things early on that was frustrating me about the show is they didn't film it in letterbox. The set designs actually did not allow them to do that. They actually filmed it in the 4:6 more square ratio. And it's because if they would have went wide, you would have seen like lights and offset boom mics and stuff, right? And so initially, it was really, really frustrating. I was like, oh my gosh, this is so irritating because I'm not used to that. Now I adjusted obviously over time. In the realm of 60 FPS versus 30 FPS, 60 FPS is so much more standard now. Whether you can play Fortnite on a PlayStation 4 and you get 60 FPS. Why? Frames per second matters. It affects animations. It affects aim assist. It affects damage registration. A lot of systems are tied to it. Now, not every game's engine ties damage output, animations, and aim assist to the frames, but many of them do. So, it's extremely important that when I play a game in 2023 on a system that promised me up to 120 FPS, that I get at least half of that. I think that's a fair expectation. You told me these things, these systems, the PlayStation 5 and the Xbox Series X, you're going to get up to 120 FPS. And I'm like, listen, you give me half of that and I'll be totally fine. I played High on Life at 30 before the patch to 60, and I hated it. I couldn't play, so I get it. But that's a fast-paced shooter. This is an RPG at heart. Listen, dude, like I don't know what game you've watched. I really don't. But this right here, what are you talking about, bro? This isn't some tabletop RPG where you're rolling dice. You're flying in space. You're shooting guns. You're exploring planets. What are you even saying, my friend? What are you saying? Look at this game. Like, what do you mean? Look at this. It's an RPG first. No. RPG refers to the systems within it. Whatever that shirt is. Oh, you like my shirt? We're partnered with 80s Tees. Make sure if you go to 80stees.com, use code Lono. That'll give me credit, and it'll also give you 30% off. And their prices went up a little bit, so that 30% off is super, super helpful. Off topic, but you need to get through Star Trek Deep Space Nine now. We might try. Oh, hang on. I got to thank somebody. Eknor was 7 months. My man's at a VIP gold. This guy goes big. He gifts members. He's at a high membership tier. This guy is stellar. 60 FPS is the standard now. He says Spider-Man and Miles Morales run at 1440 60 with ray tracing. Starfield wasn't even hitting 30 FPS in the gameplay premiere. That's embarrassing for a first-party showing. Choppy frames, too. Appreciate that. And Creature jumping back in at a member plus. Thank you very much, Creature. I'm clueless as to what this means. Is Starfield going to get delayed again? Okay, so let me give a recap to people watching over on The Talk and people watching on YouTube at Reforge Gaming. Wherever you're watching, thanks for the support. Smash the like button. You can get us to 2,000 likes over here. We could probably hit 500 likes on YouTube real easy. We only need about 70 more. And we already hit 30 members, 20 more members, and I got to gift 5 again. Every 25 members I have to gift. So let me give you a recap. There was a rumored showcase that got confirmed today. Xbox and Bethesda are going to do a developer direct on January the 25th at 3 p.m. Eastern. We will cover that on YouTube. I currently can't give you the same screen that I give YouTube. I don't have the ability to do that yet. We're trying to get Talk to open that up so that I can just stream from one location, one camera, etc. So this was confirmed today. Now, what was also confirmed in the announcement about the showcase is that Starfield will not be there. They said right here that a standalone show is in the works for Starfield, which obviously sparks tons of questions about a release date. If this thing was apparently going to release in November of last year, I would imagine that you already had all the marketing stuff ready to go for that November release date, and then you would just use that marketing stuff now. So why is that stuff not ready? What happened? Is the game in bad shape? Like, what's going on? So I think this adds to my theory that Redfall being delayed into May is going to mean that Starfield lands second half of the year. According to Matt Booty in November on a podcast, he said that, Redfall, and then as we look down the calendar, we have Starfield. So I think with Starfield being this centrality to Microsoft's ecosystem this year, the biggest release for them this year is Starfield. I think it makes more sense to bump it down the calendar as opposed to bumping it up. And we've also now been discussing whether or not the game is going to run at 30 FPS. So the Starfield news, I think, is tied to a potential Starfield release date announcement that we'll get whenever they do their standalone thing. And we've theorized when that standalone thing will happen and when the release date will happen as well. Eugene hit 16 months at a VIP Plus. It only took 9 months for my profile picture to be relevant again. Yep, there you go. I love Eugene's profile picture game. And then Graydon with 4 months, insert witty comment here. Thank you for renewing your membership, Graydon, and hitting a 4-month milestone. And a 20 spot, a $2 tip from Raxi. I can only see 30 FPS, so I'm fine. 80JC, glad to be part of the community. Members, content's always fun. #1 channel I'm always looking forward to watching. Thanks for jumping back in. 80JC with 16 months of membership. I appreciate that very much. A little disappointing and concerning, but I'd rather them take their time and get the great game. That is what I've been continuing to say. To the people that are like, you're an Xbox hater, you're this, you're that, I'm like, no, I actually want this game. If they bumped it up the calendar and this thing's releasing in the first half of the year, then I'm here to tell you that I hope if they do that, that it's super duper ready. Seriously. Wait, Starfield's going to be 30 FPS? We're just speculating. We're speculating because Todd Howard's made indications they're willing to sacrifice FPS for lots of things. And as we brought it up, tons of people were defending it being at 30 FPS, which is just mind-blowing to me. It's mind-blowing to me that people would do that. We have gained a ton of subscribers today, probably both from the upload about Starfield and this stream. We've got a good number of people that have come in here from searching for Starfield, but a bunch of you clicked on this stream because it was recommended to you, either on your homepage or another video. If you clicked on this video because it was recommended to you, thank you so much. I hope you've enjoyed the show. I hope you've hit subscribe and the like button. If you continue to watch and hang out throughout this week, you're more likely to get a gifted member. So thanks for being here. Thanks for smashing like. Wonderful to meet all you new people. Wheezy renewing his membership. That's something you can do if you hit the $sign at the bottom of the chat. Become a member for $5. Let the record show, says Wheezy, a whole lot of people defending billion-dollar corporations, giving them potentially less and paying for more. Ain't no way. I wanted to do this, and I'm going to do it now. Because, Wheezy saying that has spurred it on in me to say this. This is going to be a little bit of a rant, but I think it does need to be said. Imagine looking forward to Starfield, seeing it delayed after a date set in ink, and then seeing the price go up in 2023 to $70, and it only being a 30 FPS game. I don't think that will bode well with the community or the gaming culture at large. Look at what happened to Gotham Knights when they quietly revealed it wouldn't have a 60 FPS mode. I don't see it. I don't see it. It's like people have been waiting, and then it gets delayed, and then the price goes up, and you're going to be okay with that? Come on. No way. I do think it'll be delayed, but the Xbox has way too many eggs in Starfield. It'll do more damage than good. I agree with that. Like, if it launches and it's bad, FPS is not the only important thing in gaming. Nobody said that it is. Nobody said that it is. I have an upload today reacting to Force Gaming about Project LLL, and we get on that subject in the video. Force talks about that. How you have to have perfect performance in a shooter or it ruins the experience. It's not day and date on Game Pass. They already announced that. Who said that? Starfield isn't $70. It's free. Xbox wants a game each quarter. Quarter 1 Redfall, quarter 2 Forza, quarter 3 Starfield, quarter 4 Hellblade 2. Okay, I love everything you said, Lamork, until you included Hellblade 2. I don't think Hellblade 2 lands this year. They were in early development 2 years ago, according to their CEO. I don't believe they created that game in 2 years. I don't believe that at all. Mo says Starfield isn't a shooter. Are you serious, Clark? What do you mean it's not a shooter? What are you talking about? What am I watching here then if this is not a shooter? It's an RPG with shooter mechanics. Let's not be silly. What? Help me out here. What the, huh? It's an RPG with shooting in it. What? I don't understand what is happening. What does that even mean? What does that even mean? He's right. No, he's not. No, he's not. Outside of flying the ship, everything you're doing in that game is shooting unless you build into melee. It's not. You're creating a juxtaposition that doesn't exist. Was Fallout considered a shooter? Yes! It's a first-person shooter RPG. What is happening? You're creating a juxtaposition that does not exist. It's an RPG. It's not really a shooter. Oh my gosh. What? It's both, like, simultaneously. Is Mass Effect a third-person cover shooter? Okay, Mass Effect is in a completely different category at some level. It's both. Like, I don't understand. You're creating a juxtaposition. Yeah, hear me this. Hear me say this. I'm not saying the antithesis to what you're saying. I'm saying what you're saying is ludicrous and weird. It's not a shooter. What? It's an RPG. No, it's both. It's both. I'm not endorsing your juxtaposition on the other side and saying, no, it's a shooter, it's not an RPG. I'm saying that it's both. Equal parts. It's equal parts shooter and RPG. The loop some of y'all create is just mind-boggling. Yeah, I'm just the logical backflips. It's just it's crazy to me. You're saying shooter first, though? A game that focuses this much on guns and gunplay, I think you can say it's a shooter first. Yes, I think you can say that. When the lawyer thinks you're being pedantic, you know you've gone full. Like, if your efforts to defend, like, RPG is a diverse category, but the primary engagement is a shooter. Thank you. Yeah, somebody on Talk just said that. Like, come on. Like, your speculation is a disease. Okay. So we're dumb comments on the internet. Shame the gunplay looks absolutely terrible. Needs a full rebuild. This all making my brain hurt. I'm excited for Starfield. I'll be playing it on PC and I hope the game is good. I don't know if I can keep up with the dumb takes today. It is absolutely the Cyberpunk a shooter argument all over again. Oh yeah, people that said like Cyberpunk's not a shooter because when you talked about how bad the shooting was in Cyberpunk, that was like a common cope in defense. If there are two boxes, one RPG and one FPS shooter, which box would you put Starfield in? Neither, because you're creating a false dichotomy. Neither. That's like saying, I've got a box that says cat on it, and I have a box that says animal on it. Which one are you going to put the cat in? What do you mean? Neither. It's both a cat and an animal. That doesn't make any sense to me. Why are we looking for ways to crap on this game? No one's looking for ways to crap on this game. You're creating a false narrative. Twice today you've done that. That's twice now you've tried to falsely summarize what's going on. No one is... You're falsely summarizing what's happening, and you guys do this all the time. You want to paint me as an anti-Xbox guy. So it's like... Somebody says something stupid, I go nuts and go off on a rant, and you're like, yeah, this guy's just being super negative. This guy's just being a hater. This guy's just being anti-Xbox. It's like, no. Someone just told me that Starfield's not a shooter. And I reacted and went, huh? What? What are you talking about? Listen, I'm on record as saying one of the reasons I'm looking forward to this game is because of Star Trek. The RPG elements of Starfield are actually one of the elements I'm looking forward to. I actually praised the video where they outlined all of the dialogue things that you could do. I praised that. I was like, this looks very promising. This looks really, really good. This is a thought experiment, and it's been a good one. It makes me beg for Starfield to be 30 FPS on the X. I'm begging for it now. Just to see people defend it? Sounds as bad as your speculation, bro. Yeah. Sure. Plenty of, You know what? I was gonna respond, but you don't matter. We don't know too much about Starfield to know if it's more than a shooter than an RPG yet. Well, here's the thing. Here's why saying it's an RPG, not a shooter, right, is a problem, right? So we have these skill trees, right? Physical, social, science, tech, and combat, okay? So combat, is one of the primary things you're going to be doing. Now, you can completely ignore combat and just do, scientific exploration and stuff. And you can really, you can do everything you can to avoid combat, right? But if you engage in combat, I would say virtually all of these, with the exception of, it looks like this one with the knife and maybe one more that we saw highlighted, these are all centered around shooting. The centrality of combat in the game is it's a shooter, right? So I just don't think you can create that juxtaposition of being like, oh, it's not a shooter, it's an RPG. I don't understand that division. It's both. I say I love Xbox, yes. I say I'm excited for the game, yes. I want Starfield to succeed, yes. So I'm not a hater. You're a Sony fanboy. Undivided on the main plot of Starfield, the mysterious artifact plot is becoming a bit cliche. Do you know why I'm okay with a cliche plot? Because most of the game, you're going to be determining the outcomes of things. Bethesda doesn't really make RPGs. What? I think what a lot of people are missing is that the reason you're being critical is because you want the game to succeed. You're not hoping for its downfall. They've shown more shooting than RPG elements. To a certain degree, yes. I think that's a really good point, Shockwave. So, like, when I talk about if this game comes out at 30 FPS, it'll be worse than Gotham Knights with respect to PR, right? By the way, it's not a shooter, but again, when you come here and they show you all the things you can do, one of the first things they show you is all the things you can do with weaponry. Like, it's a shooter, right? That's why that's a central piece of the marketing. Did you hear Starfield is getting its own dedicated feature show? Yes, that was actually our lead topic today, Joe Bob. I've been streaming for 2 hours and 40 minutes. We shoot magic with guns. Crap, welcome back, Lono. I didn't get any notifications for some reason in my head. I thought you were back tomorrow. Oh, man, we've had a great day today. I feel like noties must have gone out. They must have gone out. Either that or we're just cruising with all the new folks that came in. We've got a lot of new folks here. Yeah, so when I say that Starfield, it'll be worse for Starfield than it was for Gotham Knights if it becomes known that it's going to be it's going to launch and be 30 FPS. That's literally me being concerned for the game. That's me being concerned for the game. It's like, oh my gosh, that would be really, really bad. I really want to play this game. I don't want to play this game and be playing it at 30 FPS. I don't. That sounds terrible to me. It does. That sounds absolutely awful. You're going to blow up cover this game? I hope it's amazing. And I hope I have to boot up and say, look, guys, they nailed it. They nailed this. They nailed that. Like, those are all the things. Those are all the things that I want to say. Those are all the things that I want to say. I want to be able to play this game a bunch. I want to be able to have fun with it. I want to be able to build stuff and become Captain Picard of my own, of my own experiences and my own story. Like, I want all of those things. You guys make me upset as someone who is hyped for Starfield. Yeah, I know Wheezy. Wheezy's another person that's been very, very excited for Starfield. Very excited. And, it's just one of those things where it's like, my gosh, what is actually happening? What is actually going on? Huge fan of the channel. My question is, do you think they will come out with DLC? I actually don't know about DLC, but what I would absolutely love to see is a companion DLC where other people can play with you. But if they didn't build the backbone netcode to support that like they did with Fallout 76, then I don't necessarily think it'll happen. That would be like my primary concern with them trying to do that is I selfishly want them to do that, but it's probably pretty unlikely, right? Captain's log, day one. That's what I'm saying, man. When they showed that ship and they talked about getting a crew and adding things to your ship and all this stuff, I was like, bro, I want that. I want to play that. I want to have all this awesome stuff on my ship. I want to go find all this stuff. I'm there for that, dude. I am 100% there for that. Co-op mods for sure. I could see people doing co-op mods. Yeah. I could. I really could. Crafting is hype AF. Yeah. Crafting looks super in depth. Lots of fun to be had there. You know. I do. I think this game is going to be excellent. I think they've got a lot of the core systems right. I've continued to say one of my only concerns, one of my primary and only concerns has been performance. That's been my primary concern. So, I tell you what I'm going to do. Thank you for a stellar day back, but we're not done yet, okay? We hit the member goal. We sold coffee, a bunch of new subs. If you're new to what we do here, sometimes there's a second talk show and sometimes there's not. I felt like the next subject was better suited for just a reaction video that we can all watch together as a premiere. It'll be like a quasi-second show where we all get to hang out and talk about Project LLL. Our concerns about that, monetization. Ooh, NC Soft is making it. Is it the next big looter shooter MMO? Is it a Destiny killer? All those questions are going to be answered in this video that I'm going to send you to right now. When that video is over, it will send everyone to a member stream. If you are not a member, then you can't come hang out with us after this premiere. You can't, right? $5 a month will get you into the members only stream. If we get 20 more members in the next minute or so, I got to give 5. That'll be 50 on the day. We can take a bunch of people with us, okay? I can redirect you to this video. It goes live in like 4 minutes. I'm probably going to maybe take you guys over there and then I'll just let it hit at that right time instead of pushing it. Actually, I'll probably just push it once we get everybody over there. So I'm going to put a link in chat. I'm going to end this stream and redirect you over there. And then when that video is done, when that premiere is done, it's going to redirect people to a member stream. So now's a perfect time to try out being a member. You can click the $ at the bottom of the chat or the join button. If you're watching on the talk, we're going to end streaming over here as well. And you can come over to Reforge Gaming and watch the premiere. I'm reacting to Force Gaming's video about Project LLL. And then we're going to be hanging out with members only. It is him. Thank you so much for jumping back in. It is him. So I'm going to send you guys over there. If you're not a member and you can't do membership right now, try to watch as often as you can. Smash that like button right now. I guarantee you we could hit 500 likes. I bet you there's 30 people on YouTube that haven't hit the like button yet. You guys over here could smash the like button, tap that screen, and get us to 2,000. Super fast and super easy. The more often you're here, the more often you're chatting, hitting like, and all of that, the more likely you'll get a membership when members get gifted. Also, if you're a member, get in the Discord, man, right? Get in the Discord. There's fun stuff happening this weekend for members only. You're going to miss it if you're not in the Discord, okay? So use the links below in the description to do that. All right, give you guys the link. I was kind of vamping just in case anybody went crazy with a gifted. All right, there's the link. If you don't want to ride the redirect is shaky sometimes, you can click the link in chat. It will take you to that video. I'm going to publish it as soon as you guys get over there, right? I'm going to push the premiere live as soon as you guys get over there. All right, we can all hang out and chat and talk. Discord link is in the description below of all the videos, or you can use the Discord command, or you can go to discord.gg/reforgetv. If you want to follow me on any of the other platforms, it's Reforge TV. All right, enjoy this video about Project LLL. Lots of good details from Force Gaming, and then we're all going to hang out as members. I'll see you guys in the premiere.